Well, there it goes. The Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 883rd episode of the long-running and quite wonderful podcast. Started as a radio show, became an internet kind of radio program for a few years, and then eventually a video, eventually the video podcast that it is right now. It's called Dave's Gone By, featuring me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, who will be joining us in a little bit, and me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and wonderful and adorable wife, Joyce, and what? And Potato, because Potato's gonna have a part of the show today, a very important part, because main thing we have to talk about, we don't have a quote-unquote special guest, although we do have some of our regular friends of the neighborhood. Man, I should have shaved before I came on today. I'm a little raggedy and rustly here, but yeah, we've got playing the trivia quiz in about an hour. We do have our wonderful longtime friends of the neighborhood, kind of a classic group today. So we will have David Sheward, who was the managing editor of Backstage magazine for a bunch of years, and is now a theater critic writing for theaterlife.com and culturaldaily.com. He also has a blog called The David Desk, and David is like the guy to beat in trivia. He hasn't been with us much the past few months because he's been so busy in the life that he has outside of this program, which I accept it. I don't really understand it. But anyway, he is like the man. But the woman is Leslie Hoban Blake, and she will be with us also to play our Today, Yesterday trivia quiz alongside our wonderful friend Ronald Rand, who's so wonderful. He's already logging on early, but it's early, Ron. We need you at 10 o'clock, but stay. You got in. This is great. Leave your thing on. So Ron Rand, who is, by the way, an actor, and he writes about acting as well. He has a book called Solo Transformation on Stage, all about what you do, not just the mechanics of it, but the spiritual side of doing one-person shows, of doing monologues on, off Broadway, wherever you're doing them. He also has long published I think it's a seasonal journal called Soul of the American Actor. I think it comes out maybe 6 times a year, something like that. He can tell us about it. But anyway, that's our trio for trivia. But we don't have another guest, as we sometimes or often do, in the neighborhood this week. I tried to get a couple of people, and then I was like, you know what? I'm busy, I'm teaching, I got other things to think about and worry about. Let me do just more of an old-fashioned Dave's Gone By show. Featuring me, featuring my darling and adorable wife, Joyce, and of course featuring Potato. So, Potato and we will be talking about some very, very important, sad news in the business world this week. You probably want to be, not yet. I'm waiting until Joyce comes, but probably want to be sitting down for this news. I haven't broken the news yet to Potato. It's going to be, there may be wailing and gnashing of teeth and smashing of things, but he's a big boy. It doesn't even occur to me, but this guy, this thing, is more than 25 years old. It was made in China back in 1996, and now here we are in February 25th, 2023. I'm still here. Joyce is still here, and Potato, that we got a few years later, back in I guess 1998, 99, is when we first started getting these guys. When I had my wonderful hernia, it would have been 98, 99. So at that point, when we got him, he was a toddler. He was only 2 years old. Now, he should be well off with his master's degree, at least in college. So Potato, have you learned anything in higher education? What's education? All right, okay. No. It's early. It's Saturday. The schools aren't open on Saturday. He doesn't have his brain head working yet. Potato, what is 1 plus 1, 11s. Last week he said 13. He's getting better. So anyway, Potato is with us for it's not a personal announcement. It's not an announcement anything to do with me, thank goodness, or my family or anything. It's just a bit of business news that came as an incredible shock to the food world this past week. We're moving past it. We're dealing with it. We're grappling with it. We'll tell you about it. Also, what do I want to talk with you guys about? Let's see. Okay. I do want to tell you that also on this program, it's not as if we have nothing to do. It's not as if just because we don't have a guest, everything's gone to hell. We do have a Colorado Limerick of the damned, and we will be going to a place that actually I knew pretty well. So many times on this program when I do the Colorado Limerick of the Damned, which is a terrible, risque, vulgar, awful poem that I write about all these different places in Colorado, because Joyce and I lived there for more than a decade. But most of the time, they're places I've never heard of. I mean, I'm looking on Wiki, I'm looking on these other places, towns in Colorado, just to find names that might rhyme with disgusting things, so I could, oh, wow, great, I can get another poem out of this. But, and most often, either I've never heard of them, or I've heard of them, but they were 150 miles away, never went there, didn't drive that much when we were living in Colorado, except to like Fort Collins, once or twice to Boulder. That's the kind of driver I am. And then like local environs around Greeley, where we were. But this was a town really close to Greeley. This is a town called Windsor. Windsor, Colorado. It's actually part of the Weld County, Larimer County area. Larimer area. So it's a rare place that I actually am conversant with. But I've still written a horrible, disgusting poem about it. And I'm quite proud. So, yeah, we will have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will go to Windsor, Colorado, and it was not easy to write this one. I wrote it this week. Sometimes I go back and I pull things from I wrote 3 years ago, but no, this is a brand new Limerick of the Damned coming at you later in the broadcast. And also, what are we doing today? Ooh! And I repeat, Potato, do it with me. Ooh! When you gotta pucker your mouth to do it. It's like, ooh! That's better. So, it's been a while. Hasn't been years, because I know I did one a couple of months ago, but we have brought back the wretched pun of destiny. I know. It's kind of a way to make up for the sad news we'll be announcing a little later in the broadcast here, but the wretched pun of destiny. Started doing these a few years ago as part of my writing group when we were living in Colorado. My God, and that was 4 years ago. But the idea was to create a tiny short story, almost like flash fiction, short story, but the result, the punchline of it, if you will, and you will, is an awful, not dirty, generally not dirty at all, but just like it ends in a play on words, it ends in a pun, so egregious that you have to go to Lourdes and bathe in the waters just to get a pun off of you. It's that, yeah, they're wretched puns of destiny. And sometimes I go really, really dry on these and don't think of any for a very long time. This week, one came to me. And rather than do what I should have done is just sort of let it go, let it float out of my mind, think of something else, I decided to grapple with it and work on it and write it out. So yes, we have a brand new wretched pun of destiny coming at you. It's going to be about baseball, just as we're, I think, getting ready. They're in spring training already, but they're not playing the games. They're not doing the preseason games yet. But it's kind of good timing, considering also that here we are, we're living in Maryland now, been in Maryland since August, and it's late February. And on Wednesday, we hit 74 degrees where we live. right? I mean, talk about, yes, global warming is horrible. Yes, your grandchildren are going to be wearing oxygen masks just to go to the park. But every once in a while, global warming, as Donald Trump put it, can be kind of good. So we had a little bit of real, actual global warming, even the whole winter here. Now I know that's the messed up part, because the whole middle of the country, it was minus 20, I think, in Wisconsin or something. And not with wind chill, just the actual temperature was in the serious minuses, and half of the country got snow, and schools were closed, and there was like 800,000 people without power. Somewhere, I think down towards the south thing, they got weather this past week, as you would towards the tail end of February. We got weather too. It just went from 45 degrees one day into like 55 the next day, and then 75 degrees on Wednesday. And it's wonderful, to be teaching, not just wonderful weather, but wonderful to be on a college campus in the middle of February, and seeing people, first of all, girls in much lighter, skimpier clothing, like yay, and then guys like in shorts and almost, on Colorado, there were all these campuses and playing frisbee, but just people walking around with their lacrosse sticks and and it's like, wow, what is this? What place are we living in that it's like this in February? And of course, the next day it was back down to the 40s. It was a chilly day, a typical temperate day. But the real wonderful thing is, and stranger thing is, that this particular year, and I want to knock on wood, I know I'm going to give what my mom would say is a kanina hura, but we haven't had snow. Okay, I mean, we've lived here since August, and through October, November, December, January, February, right? And I think December and March are supposed to be the snowiest months around where we live. But, there hasn't been a real drop of snow here in over a year, which is really weird and really rare. We're only 200 miles from New York City, right? And New York hasn't gotten anything either, except we had one or two moments where you could see heavy snowdrops on trees at the beginning of some kind of storm, but it had been too warm and too wet for anything to stick. And there was no shoveling, no nothing. And of course, everybody's saying, well, that's it. That's global warming. This is what's happening. And now we'll never see snow again. It's like, no. Dollars to donuts in 2024. It will be early October, and we'll get 1.5 feet, right? And then it'll do what happened in Colorado, where you would get sometimes a snowstorm in November, and it would come down, and you get like 5 inches or something, and then you get a freeze front for 3 days. So whatever you didn't shovel immediately and salt just stayed as ice everywhere. It was the one negative thing about winters in Colorado, but it was a thing. If you have that early snowfall, and then temperatures would plummet, stay down just long enough to freeze any extant water or snow that was around. And literally, if you had a big snowstorm early in the season, you would see still the snow piles from it in early April until everything finally melted. We're almost a mile high. It's Colorado. But so it is weird not to see anything here all year. Granted, we have March coming. Granted, for sure, we're going to get overnights in the 20s and 30s for the next couple of weeks. We still have groundhog. Okay, so Punxsutawney Phil or whoever saw the shadow. 6 more weeks. We've been through 2 weeks. They've been wonderful. Okay, punks, come on down. Give us 7 more weeks of winter. If winter's like this, I'll take it. Be nice to see the grass start coming back, though, and the real greenery. We've seen the crocus buds. Love it. Nothing. This was always a wonderful thing back when we were living on Long Island, where, in weird times, you would see in January crocus buds coming out of the ground. And you even see flowering in January and February. The crocuses would come up. We have a warm day. Do not get on camera. And You just see the growth. We're seeing the leaves, the buds, but we're not yet seeing the flowers. And don't go, look at that! Look at that! This is the special happy surprise. Look, potato.
Can you see it?
Oh, my eyes! So turn around, but oh, my other eyes! Okay, we'll close these. Oh, better. Wow! Wow. You can't see it on the screen. These are my wife's beautiful hands, but notice Joyce found this. We were shopping, was it Marshall's, I think?
It was I was looking for this is my happy place, which they didn't have
No,
anymore.
No, of course not.
So I was digging for all these online signy things.
Yeah. So we try to find something for Joyce's office here. She has an office in the house where we're living. And we try and find this nice lit neonish sign.
Well, the problem is, everybody, if you get, it's a very common phrase, so everybody sees it. And then they had ones that were inspire and but I have a whiteboard you gave me at school that I'll bring home and I'll write on it, you know, as an incentive, or I can write stuff, and then I was just digging through, it was a sale place, and I was like, what's that big thing say? Because I was trying to read all of them.
Right.
And it was tucked in the way back of bottom of the display.
Yeah.
About 5, it was all the way in the back, lining the back of the wall thing. So I just kept digging and I found it. I was like, I've never seen it.
This is like a legitimate radio.
Have you ever seen that?
Well, no, I've seen it in a radio station.
But a store.
No, why would this be in a store? This is almost like a piece of equipment that you would buy.
A music studio, right? Like a music. Well, I guess who would have it? I guess for a teenager or somebody who was in their room and they didn't want to be bothered, they could put on air, But I've never seen it, and I just don't. I'm fussy too, and I thought the lettering was beautiful. I thought it's a.
Yeah.
I wish it one.
Yeah.
It's unplugged. You can plug it in.
Oh, no, but even to show the here.
I wish that it would be half red. Maybe on, but I understand that's that. Yeah.
So we're figuring out. We're hoping that by next week we're going to have a way to actually have this as the backdrop on the program. We don't want to put holes in our kind of fresh, beautiful walls here. But
we'll definitely go, as we said, we'll go to Michael's because the men and women at Michael's are used to this. That's what they that's what they do. They're used to crafting.
Because I figured we can find an adhesive. I put a couple of things that don't pull paint off walls.
See how much it weighs. They'll probably want to know. But remember Mike's wife Sherry in Colorado? She was, and I'm keeping this so you could turn it on and off and test it, Yeah. But Sherry was she was very artsy and she would make stuff. I'm just looking to see if it says there's a sign
of how much it weighs.
It's I don't know where to. Probably doesn't say it because it's not a food product.
Actually, if you look it up on the thing, it'll probably give you the weight, the width. This is 28 inches wide.
It looks so 100%.
But it's quite wonderful, and it just it always makes me feel bad.
Warm white. It's 28 inches, so that's how. But we don't know the weight. Easy to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put 2
It's got 2 holes on either side for nails or something. But we don't want to. As I said, we don't want to put nails in, but we'll figure it out because it's not very heavy.
It's lovely.
And it's great. It's just, we go looking for a sign, of course, for Joyce, and what we come away with, a sign for Dave, because it's about me.
No, but next time, that's the thing, I tried to explain to people, and it's why most people, someone said not home goods, but home design. There's another store in that chain. So the Marshalls, the Home Goods, the TJ Maxx, I'm going to fix the sign now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But they're all catch as catch can. Whatever you get there, you get. And it's not like a store where, a Target, where you can say, oh, can I order it, or do you have another one? These stores are they have one of something in a size triple X, and that's it. You can't say, oh, I love this shirt. Do you have it in a
No, it's
medium?
A remainder.
It's whatever's there you have.
Yeah.
So,
and you can find this online, but it ain't the price we pay for it. It's a lot more.
It's the beauty of it, the hunt of it. It's the interest of it, but it's also the sadness if you find something, and you might find one thing that's damaged and you can't find another. So it's I mean, we could look, maybe we go Sunday, I don't know, but, we got stuffies.
I was wondering if there's for veterans or things. If there was a store that they go to, like they lost both their legs in a horrible roadside bomb accident, and they find like the perfect leg in Marshalls.
That has to be measured. You have to measure.
Well, sometimes it'll fit.
No, prosthetics have to be fitted to the individual. It's unique.
Can they just bring it to like a tailor?
No.
They buy one size, they hem it? No.
Things like that have to be really specially fitted. It's like glasses. You can't just get eyeglasses.
Well, I can.
I can't.
Yeah. No, but that's the thing. I went to the eye doctor like 2-3 weeks ago for a regular, make sure I don't have glaucoma, make sure I don't have this, that, cataract, knick-knack cataract. That may be an upcoming wretched pun. You know why?
Oh.
Don't say it. Don't say it. But I went to the eye doctor, and we were talking. They said, "Well, yeah. How do you read? How do you do this?"
Would you mind if I go down and get breakfast?
Yeah, go for it. Wait, or do you want to talk about ketchup?
Let's do ketchup.
Yeah.
Who's your guest?
We don't have.
When are they coming for the quizzy bubba?
10.
Oh, okay. So I'll stay on. What time is it now?
It's
I'm there until 10.
Great. Yeah, and then I'll be doing the trivia quiz, and you can go and have yeah. So I was at the eye doctor, and we were just talking. He's like, "Well, I can give you lenses and whatever. Or are you fine reading with 1.5 magnifiers that you get for $4 from the drug?" I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Okay, wear them." And at least until the point where my eyes get worse, or I'll need progressives or something like that. But it's like if they're 1.5s, they're fine for you. I'm like, yay, as opposed to like going to the dentist the past couple of weeks, and it's like one filling. Then, well, we're going to fill this, and it's pretty deep. Because it had been like 3 years since I've been to the dentist. Shame on me, lazy, pandemic, all that, fearful. So I finally go, and about 3 weeks ago they fill a cavity, a deep cavity, and it says, "Well, we're going to see how this goes. We're going to fill it, but you possibly, if you're really sensitive, we might need a crown." And I wanted to tell him, it's like, if I'm going to need a crown on this in 1.5 years, just put deaden the nerve and do it now. But so far, it's okay. It'll hold. I'll keep the teeth I got. But and then oh man, this past week was it Monday or last Monday?
It was this Monday.
It was this Monday. Well, that was teeth cleaning day. Yes, it was teeth cleaning day. And when you haven't got your teeth cleaned in a couple of years, it's somehow worse than when you have it every couple of months. Because first you get the scaling. And it was by hand. It was like she takes the middle thing and she's poking and she's it's the pushing into the nerve. It's such a delightful feeling, ladies and gentlemen. It's like ah.
This segment is sponsored by the American
Dental Association. No, she was really good, but she wanted to get in. You understand mentally that she has to do this. That she's digging in there because there's old food and there's crap that she wants to get out between the teeth and the gum and the thing. So mentally you're saying to her, this is good for me. Let her get in there. Get any little crud out of there with that metal implement. But she gets through the whole top row. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then she tells me, well, we also have this machine that does it. I'm like, really, do you? You have a machine? But it was being used on another patient because they don't have two. Right, so I was like, why don't we try that one too? Because it also does water thing and it's the sucker stuff that they hold. So I was like, they're finished. Why don't you go get that? Why don't you go get that other thing? And she does. And don't get me wrong, it's still no fun, but it moves quicker. And you also got to kind of move it. And it's like but it's already by the time you feel the pain, they've already moved away from that area to the next with the water and the spritz and the thing. So it somehow feels a little less awful, just slightly, than just the old-fashioned, like, I'm going to dig into your gum right now. And your nerve is probably going to feel this. She's actually very good. But she tells me I have to go back now for another filling in another tooth, and they tell me I have a little minor, tiny little fracture. And they took over. Let's see how that one goes. I'm like, great, fucking great. Just you figure you pay your dues by not going to the dentist for a while, and you have I got a bad filling. But it's like, this and this, and it's a harbinger. Of course, when I'm in my 60s and 70s, I'll need a new bridge and serious dental work and crowns and caps and more false teeth.
This is not.
What? This is my. Where's the baby cry? You always do the baby cry.
I did the baby crying thing, but I did it too much. Okay.
But overall, she said my teeth look good. Overall, she said, all things considered, you know. And I warned them. I warned the hygienist. I warned them, and I said, look, you know, you're going into a chamber of horrors here. You know, I was born with a hair lip and a cleft palate, and I had work done, and I got fillings and caps, and no. You know, teeth are pretty decent overall. This is good. You know. So that was this week. That was this particular dental story where they still, I don't know if they remembered me or it's this mental thing where they, you know, when you're in a situation, it kind of unconsciously, subconsciously triggers something else. Remember I told you last time I was there about 3-4 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
And while I'm there, and I'm doing a filling, and they're talking about, there's two women. One, my dentist is a pretty youngish, probably 30s person, and her assistant is a woman in her 50s. And they're talking about these shows that they watch on Netflix of sword and sorcery kind of blood origin things. And it's like, oh, Liam Hemsworth, he's really, you know, these hunky guys and how they all look so good when they're doing their strapping, you know, daring do sword and sorcery stuff. And I'm sitting there like, you know, talking about how good looking guys are on this show. I'm like, oh, yeah, shut up and do my teeth. I do not want to, I don't want to hear any talking. We play some nice music, you know, one of the nice things is they have a window. It's the one reason we really chose this place, aside from it being fairly local, is you can look out the window and they have a bird feeder right in front of the dental window and all these tree branches and stuff. And this time especially, tons of birds hopping around.
Cardinal or what?
Female cardinal, lots of robins, was a woodpecker.
Oh my God.
I was in heaven, except for the fact that half the time, you know, the window's here, and you're like this. I know there are birds out there.
Why don't you give a mirror? Give a mirror. Like hold a mirror so you can see them.
You know, and they also have a TV screen there that they don't. Probably for kids, they have a TV thing. But I'm just like, you know, because they do a lot of yapping. It takes your mind off what's being done to you. But there's also yap, you know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, yap. Oh, I'm watching this show on Netflix. I'm like great. Oh, the men are hot. This is good.
You should ask about the hot men.
But the weird thing is, I wonder if they remembered that they were talking about that 3 weeks earlier when I was in the chair.
Tell me,
Or if it's one of those things that kind of, I was in the chair, it happened to me what they were talking about, and it's just sort of in a deja vu-y sort of way.
What?
They went back to the same topic. Because, I mean, these women see each other every day, 4 days a week.
They'd rather just talk about it like that.
Yeah, but literally back to the same-ish subject.
Yeah, because it's cyclical, so, like, they probably watch the shows the same time you're there.
Maybe Sunday nights.
Yes,
oh.
I have a feeling like,
yeah.
A lot of times, like, if people, I don't watch anything in cyclical, but I know, like, people will say, like, oh, yeah, did you see, like, one student was saying, I saw the latest episode on Netflix of Doo-Dah-Doo, and they were like, oh, yeah, Doo-Dah-Doo, and I'm like, oh, okay, it must have been, I think it must be released a certain time, you know?
Yeah, but the other thing I wanted to mention about that was, and this is the wonderful irony.
You should have just ripped your shirt off. Like,
yeah, I didn't want the dentist throwing up on my chest, right?
Oh, no.
But the great part of this was, so when she's doing the cleaning, it's really scaling as much as cleaning, because they're really going in. Regular cleaning is not so bad. They go in, they get a little hook out, and they polish, and that's it. This was like scaling with a metal object. And I'm like, you know. And then, when that's all done, and they clean my teeth, and they you know, come back we'll fill the thing and look at some other stuff. And then she says, okay, your teeth might be a little sensitive. If you're okay with ibuprofen, you can take aspirin if you need it, or Tylenol if you want that. And I'm thinking, you know, about 45 minutes ago, I could have used some opioids.
I don't think they can prescribe that.
But, you know, you could have given, you know, you say, hey, here's some heroin. Now that you're done, right, now that you're completely finished, and you feel, it might be a little bit sensitive if you want to take an aspirin. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm okay with a little bit of sensitivity. You know, I got a little cold beverage that'll hurt up here, like, you know, or okay, yeah, you were working here, I'll probably get a canker sore or something. But really, the time for the aspirin and the Tylenol could have been when I walked in here. Except maybe they're afraid if I take something like that and you bleed, it's more. It's more blood. But really, I could have used the analgesic or maybe a nice little numbing agent.
You should have said to her, could you hold my hand? That would have been.
If she had a third hand, how do you have someone chipping it? Yeah. Or the hygienist could have, maybe.
Yeah.
Or take my mind and hold something else.
It's not that kind of dentist.
God punished me, right? Well, give them a different kind of drilling. Oh!
I don't know what's in here, David.
It's just water, thank you. Yeah.
I can go down and make tea.
Oh, that's good. I got my coffee in the other room. I forgot to bring it. Actually, when you come up, after I'll take the hot tea later on. But that's the thing. You know, would you like an aspirin later? I'm like, no, I don't want an aspirin later. I'll be fine. You know, the sensitivity on a pain scale of chewing over the next day was maybe 0.1%. Like sensitivity when they were scaling my mouth, 6, 7, 7. You know, like, and even when they give me the Novocaine, they put on the gel first, so it numbs the gum a little bit. So you're feeling it, but it's not like needle in because I'm needle phobic. So.
Your whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, Bonnie and your dad, I should say.
And me.
Yeah.
And Mom too, I imagine.
And Stephanie, yeah.
We all have the two sides of the family are terrified of doctors and needles. I'm not terrified of doctors unless they have a needle. Quite honestly.
Did you mention that shirt you got was from TJ Maxx?
Well, the reason I'm wearing it.
Why?
I don't think I brought it from New York.
Oh,
but I was going to get the shirt you got me in New Orleans.
Oh, we did bring it.
We did bring it?
With the French fries, yeah.
Oh, no, I put on my...
I thought you meant the shirt with the French fries, okay.
We wrote that one?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure. But anyway, the reason this is, I've been holding this in abeyance. I've been trying to put you through the misery of my, it wasn't really miserable, of my dental appointment for the really sad news that Joyce just shared with me last night. We both could barely sleep over this.
I was an alert on my phone, of course, because I get ketchup alerts.
Well, here's the deal. You know, ketchup is the lifeblood.
I don't have my phone. I could have showed that Heinz ketchup holder.
Oh, later when you come up. Yeah. You sent it to me, didn't you?
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
We can distract them with it when they get sad.
But Heinz is the giant squid voyage to the bottom of the sea octopus in terms of ketchup, right? Heinz is the place, and I guess it always will be, especially now. But we got word. I don't even know how to begin this. I don't even know, and forgive me if I'm kind of at sixes and sevens and upset about this, but it's just shocking. It's shocking and sad.
So show them here's the condiment station.
All right, this is a happy thing. This is kind of cool. Miss Joyce was at in Midtown.
A vehicle place, yeah.
I've
never seen a condiment station. Have you?
Isn't that the most wonderful? The second most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing.
You can put anything in there, yeah.
Yeah, but was when we were back in Colorado and you had the pump, the enormous pump that hold like 5 gallons of ketchup.
The airport had that too. At JetBlue, they had the Heinz ketchup pump. It was like a large pump of ketchup.
So but now you have a thing where you can actually have shelves of, you can put, screws and nails in there too.
I don't think they have Heinz ketchup in it.
They do on the bottom, look on the bottom rack.
No, that's like hot sauce, and they have like real mayonnaise in it. Oh, on the top they have. Look on the top.
See? Yeah. See? All right.
And then it says Heinz condiment station, and then to emphasize it, it says it has to be Heinz.
Now, that's something. So ketchup, this whole week has on some level been about ketchup. Not really, I mean, to a certain extent, about ketchup. I'll explain why. First of all, we told you the story last week of this guy, like 30-something-year-old man from, I forget what country, like Nigeria or Ghana.
Dominica. It was
Dominican. And this guy is on a boat, and the boat gets like totally blown off course. He's in the middle of nowhere. And on the boat, there's really nothing to eat except a few soup packet cubes,
Mm.
garlic powder, and a bottle of ketchup. A bottle of, and he lives on this. I'm swearing to you, for 3 weeks. This keeps him alive in the middle of the ocean until he's finally rescued and they take him and he weighs like 90, probably weigh 100 pounds to begin with.
He was a thin man, you know.
Yeah.
But he was kept alive by like a bouillon cube, some like salty mix of something,
and Heinz ketchup. Or a ketchup bottle.
I'm surprised the Heinz didn't make a bigger thing of it. Maybe they did it on their social media, like we keep you alive at the sea.
Well, they're trying to. They have been this week. Oh. They've been trying to find him. Mm-hmm. He sort of slipped away after his notoriety, going to the hospital, getting checked out, being okay. Mm-hmm. After 3 weeks at sea, living on ketchup and bouillon cubes, right? Heinz is like what they want to do is they want to buy him a new boat.
Oh, that's lovely.
Isn't it? Yes.
That's lovely.
I mean, it's great.
He's probably like, listen, I'm not going out to sea for a long time.
Yeah, I'm buying an RV.
If he goes out to sea, he'll have like, what do you call it, dehydrated rations, like cans of tuna, all sorts of like, you know. He'll have like a fridge.
Yeah, no, if he ever goes out to sea again, he's bringing a cow. So he has to slaughter it.
Heinz 57 is the name of the boat. They'll probably stock it with condiments.
Right. And it would be great PR for them. It's already great PR for them.
Yes.
Any store that puts ketchup in the news is great PR for us.
And
so then we find them.
Alive. It's a good.
Yeah. I mean, you figure a health food would not think of eating ketchup for 3 days and staying alive, but this guy did.
Yeah.
And what is ketchup? It's vinegar, sugar, salt. Well, you do need salt. So if you don't have salt, you are going to die. But it's like, so this wonderful story, and Heinz is looking for this guy. Hope they find him. Hope it all works out. Hope they buy him a boat. Hope he literally becomes the face of Heinz for a year or two. That'd be amazing. Unless it's one of those things where he suddenly disappeared and it turned out he was on the boat for like 30 hours.
No, they knew because they're in the National Guard. I mean, there were people with him that exactly.
Oh, it was really true. Yeah, everything was true.
They took him to the hospital, like he was dehydrated. They could tell. So, like, you could fake some things, but you can't fake that to medical people.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just before they brought him in the ambulance to get him off the boat, you know, he went behind the back and he was throwing up Malamars. He had chicken legs.
That's funny.
No. But, okay, so that was the happy ketchup news from a week ago. When Joyce and I were living in Colorado, one of the things we took it upon ourselves to do was when we had the opportunity to try different kinds of ketchup, we would. Because as I mentioned, for potato, particularly, ketchup is...
Says, look,
yeah, well, talk to me.
It talks about, it says, right, exactly what you're saying, that they're looking for the Dominican man who survived a month at sea with nothing but ketchup and seasoning. The ketchup maker says they want their help. You may remember Elvis Francois, who was the brave sailor who survived with Heinz ketchup and spices for 24 days.
It was Heinz. It was Heinz.
They want to celebrate his safe return and buy him a new boat, but we can't find him.
Now, how do you not find this guy now? How does he suddenly, like, disappear?
So that was like 4 days ago.
Oh, is there anything new about Elvis?
They have one, Pittsburgh just took it 13 hours ago, but it's a video.
Yeah. Let's hear.
They're still looking for...
Still haven't found him.
No.
Well, anyway. So that's the happy story. But when Joyce and I were living in Colorado, specifically me. Joyce has a very restricted diet for a bunch of reasons, but me, I want to try everything and anything, including, even though Heinz is Heinz, and ketchup is ketchup, really. You know, it's kind of hard to go wrong with ketchup, but I want to try different ketchups. It's my thing. It's potatoes thing. You know, they're always curious, even though Heinz is the go-to, and the sui generis, right? So we're trying different ketchups, and there's one out in Colorado that we found in a store, and then they had it in a local restaurant called Elevation Ketchup. And we tried, Elevation, it was local, it was like Mile High, Denver area ketchup. And we tried it, and I'm like, and it was expensive too. It was like $7 a bottle for Elevation Ketchup. And we tried it, and it's, to me, it's different from Heinz, it was all right. And I'm like, meh.
They're all looking for him. Every news outlet is posting information. They're doing it on social media.
And you can still find other kinds of ketchup in the stores, of course, Hunt's and your local store Off-Brand, and other people still making their gourmet ketchups. But then, oh, there is what?
No, they're not finding it's not him.
And then, I don't know if we saw it in a store first or in a restaurant first, but we came across something called Sir Kensington's ketchup.
Yeah.
There's a bottle, plastic bottle, or might have actually been in a glass one at that point. And like, let's try this. So it was reasonably priced, although everything's more than Heinz. Looked okay, ingredients were fine. Let's try this. You have to understand, you can't necessarily improve upon perfection.
Yeah.
And Heinz ketchup is basically perfect. It is the perfect mix of all the things that you put into ketchup, the consistency, the anticipation, right? All of it. Heinz is perfect. You cannot improve upon Heinz.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Kensington improved upon Heinz. Don't know how they did it. It was smoother, more tomato-y. I was shocked. I literally, did I faint and hit my head and then have to be revived?
You got scared.
And then I started jumping around and screaming because both Potato and I could not believe it. That as wonderful, as perfect as Heinz is, Sir Kensington somehow had this other extra tomato-y, homemade-y flavor. Because there were other ketchups we tried that were a little too close to tomato sauce.
They weren't good.
They wanted to put more tomato in it, fine.
Altitude one you didn't like.
Yeah, elevation, I said. But and then there's a couple of others. It's like, it's basically glorified tomato sauce. And, on spaghetti, I use tomato sauce, but I always add ketchup because, shut up! Yes, I do. I add ketchup. But to find a ketchup that improves upon ketchup, and I became addicted to Sir Kensington ketchup. Now, I didn't need the spicy one. They have a couple of different flavors. It's just terrific. I put it on there. And I would be, even though it was plentiful and not terribly expensive, I would also say, I'm going to save it for the good, when I'm having a good steak, I'm going to use a Sir Kensington. Mix that maybe with a little mustard. And I'll use the Heinz for the rest of the time for if I'm using a lot of ketchup on something. And now I almost regret it because news came down this week that the Sir Kensington company, this small label, says that after a few years of making their ketchup, owing to the pandemic and the changing market and going up against corporate giants like Heinz, Kraft Heinz, they're not going to be making.
We got trouble in this house, David. We got trouble.
I know.
Give him the ketchup, honey. Give him the ketchup.
No, I don't want the Heinz! Not the Heinz! I know, Potato.
Wow.
Not the Heinz!
Potato, you love Heinz. Reminded me loves Heinz.
But Potato, you also do love Heinz. Heinz used to be the gold standard. It used to be the most perfect ketchup ever. I don't care what this
Ask Daddy to get you a bottle on eBay for $60,000.
So this is hilarious.
Why don't we just get a bottle, put Sir Kensington on it, write on it, and put like...
Well, we have a lot of potatoes. We got to do one for each of them.
No, they'll share.
Oh, they'll share. So Potato, it is true. You can get
Daddy can get
Heinz.
the Sir Kensington ketchup hack. And you can figure out what, people do that. They take a product, they'll take a hamburger from a place and say, here's how you make it at home. So we can maybe find...
Oh.
I'll look it up here.
Ooh, yeah. But, and the deal is, totally out of the blue, totally out of, well, if you worked at the company, you probably knew.
Kensington ketchup at home.
And they said essentially that, and this
Here's the
surprised me.
recipe.
Yeah, tell me.
Here's the recipe.
Tell me, yeah.
What is the base ingredient in the kitchen? It says here.
Well, I hope tomatoes.
Pears and sriracha. Hold on.
If it's human testicles, we have a problem.
I can't do that. Well, this is for some Kensington. It says vine ripened tomatoes, paste, Oh, here we go. We'll watch it. Here, honey.
Oh, is it a video? Or is it a...
In the year 2008, we started on a journey to bring integrity and charm to ordinary and overlooked food. We started with ketchup, a quintessential part of American food culture. There you go. Today, we're at a farm in California's Central Valley, in the shadow of the Sierra Nevada. This corridor of land from Sacramento in the north to Bakersfield in the south has hot days, warm nights, calm winds, and constant dry heat. A tomato's paradise. Call them what you will, fruit or vegetable, they thrive in this climate. Under the warmth of the sun and in the richness of the soil. We learned that it's balance of flavor that makes a great ketchup. Savory, sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. The same qualities found in great tomatoes. That's what led us to seek out the finest tomatoes in the land. While at Windsor Ketchup, our first ingredient is tomatoes, not concentrate. Our ketchup is delightfully different.
Yes!
Its taste is distinctive, and its consistency is rich in texture, and it's that difference we pride ourselves on. It's the tomatoes that make our ketchup, and it's our ketchup that makes your burger. Delicious.
It's that kind of smack talking, David. You know, when you smack talk like that, Heinz is going to come at you. You can't.
What, he didn't say anything
He's
about...
like, our ketchup. Oh, what's going on again? It's like,
He didn't smack talk about Heinz or any other company.
And its consistency is
It
rich
won't
in texture,
stop.
and it's that difference we pride ourselves
oh my God. But it should say, like, okay, who makes,
Who makes for
what's
King?
the ingredient?
Yeah.
Vinegar, tomatoes, vinegar, spices, and seasonings. That's not helpful.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. They're secret. They're
Handcrafted. Let's see. Here's the scoop.
shaved skin off the backs
Oh,
of
here's the
babies.
scoop. I think they're gonna do. Oh no, they don't. There's no recipe.
Well, no, they wouldn't. It would be secret, just like
No, but people
Coke.
hack it, you know.
Yeah.
Sir Kensington Sriracha ketchup, they give you that
Well, no, yeah.
spice.
Add spices and sriracha. There's a recipe. But and the thing was, they said,
give you 3 gallons of Sir Kensington ketchup.
yeah, where, when,
Look at
now,
that. Look what it
now.
looks like. You gotta-
They put it in like
It's
a
big,
blood
like,
bag.
It's a big, yeah.
You know, they put 3 gallons into this thing that looks like it should be hanging on one of those loops in a hospital where you go, yeah, we want this. Aren't you afraid of needles? No, not for that.
Wow.
But Sir Kensington, in their statement, said that they love making ketchup. It was their signature product. But weirdly enough, aside from the economic stuff and fighting the big corporate places and just getting through the pandemic.
You couldn't get it on Target. You could get the mayonnaise and the other ones.
Yeah,
all the other
that's what
mixes,
happened.
But you couldn't get the ketchup anywhere. Remember, we couldn't get it for a while.
Because I think they started cutting back and back and back on
Yeah.
manufacturing until the point where they said, you know what, our
But
mine.
Whole Foods, I used to get it when
I
I was
know.
when I was working for the consultation company in Brooklyn, and I would go in. There was a huge Whole Foods, and they would have, yes, you have it. Remember, I used to get them for you, and
Yes.
and people loved them.
Look at that. Look at that. This is gold now. I
David,
could sell this on
Yes,
eBay for 20
that would
bucks.
be your retirement plan. Hold on, don't let
Well, if I still had a bottle of it.
Don't let potatoes eat it. Oh no, potato.
More? No,
Oh,
there's
come
no
on,
more
honey.
potato.
Honey.
No. But they said, and this shocked the hell out of me,
What?
that the main reason they did it, and people
Walmart
are
says
surprised
they
by
have it.
Wally World?
Yeah.
Let's go. We have a Walmart 3 miles
Let's
away.
see. $5 for 20 ounces. It says pickup's not available, but yeah.
Everybody listening to this program is running to Walmart before we get there, but I'm going.
And it's like we have a new look. They changed the bottle. Remember?
Yeah. Well, they were trying everything. Oh.
Let me see.
Hold on.
It's real.
What do you mean it's real?
Because it might just say like they don't have it.
Oh, well, I know. And we can call and say, can you stockpile 10 bottles for us? Because it's worth it. It's that
Got
good.
A lot of good reviews.
Well, Sir Kensington is terrific. Was. You know how a dead person, you still refer to them in the present tense?
Yeah.
It's like, Sir Kensington was.
Oh no.
And they said, and this is the shock part.
Giant says they have it too.
Oh, we haven't Giant. We're Giant is right.
Oh, it says check availability. Hold on.
Check availability.
Martin's. Wait, that's not Martin. Martin's we don't have. It's
No. The vast majority of condiments that Sir Kensington's the company sells apparently is mustard. Oh no, I'm sorry, not mustard. Mayonnaise. I don't know why they don't have the trouble with Hellman's that they would have with Heinz.
No, they have like mayonnaise with their mayonnaise is orange. It's maybe sriracha. Like they're not. It's not just plain mayo. It's like, remember I got you the one that you loved. It was like the aioli. It had like
that was good. Yeah.
It had different. So they have like different. I don't know what you would call it, like spice mixes in mayonnaise. It's not just mayonnaise plain. True.
Yeah. But they just have ketchup plain in, and they had sriracha ketchup. They had the dark. I think they had their own dark balsamic, or maybe I'm thinking of Heinz. But for some reason, it's like about 80 to 90% of their stuff is mayo based. And ketchup was really a very small part of what people bought from them. And that's one of the reasons that they're killing
it makes
the
sense
ketchup
why
now.
like Target and other places weren't carrying the ketchup.
Now it does, yeah.
They carried all the other spices. Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but it makes me, so, because here was a company that, and the weird part, I was thinking about this, like Elon Musk.
You also liked Elevation from both.
No, I didn't like Elevation. I was saying I didn't like Elevation. It was too, it was a little too,
like salsa?
tomato saucy.
Like salsa.
Yeah, but like Elon Musk will look at a map and go, why can't you go from New York to California in half an hour? And he's trying to dream up something that isn't there yet. Why can't you do this? Someone will say, well, this is all right, but they finally finished the subway that goes from, or the LIRR that now can go from Penn Station. After 70 goddamn years, they finish it. And yet, someone looked at ketchup, which was already perfect.
Maybe somebody else will buy the recipe and make it. Could they do that?
If it'd be worthwhile to them.
Could they do that? I don't know.
Well, or maybe, they've not just got to buy the recipe, they've got to buy the farm where they were growing those particular tomatoes. Let me tell you, those tomatoes are not the best ones for salads or for cooking. If you get those tomatoes, they're kind of mushy. They're not the best for eating. But for ketchup, holy cow. So,
why don't you just buy that ketchup kit that it took us 7 hours to make ketchup and it didn't taste good?
We never made it.
No, that's true.
We never tried to make it because it was too involved.
It was a lot.
We were in some store and they had for like $1 a packet
that should have been a giveaway
of powdered stuff that you then turn into ketchup if you add all these things to it and let it sit for 3.5 days and then strain it.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
I'm like, what? It's a bottle of ketchup. I can get one, even inexpensive, except now, last night I went on eBay just to see, remember when my mom went
Twinkies.
off not Twinkies, Devil Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
My mom.
Her ho-hos, didn't she like ho-hos?
No, she was like, Devil Dogs.
Oh.
Drake's Devil Dogs. And she has lived on those for breakfast, Devil Dog and coffee, for 40 plus years. I'm not joking. That any other breakfast can't get her going, doesn't do anything. She needs her Devil Dog and coffee.
That's a brat.
That's what I need. And then about 15 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, maybe 10 years ago, Drake's kind of went out of business for a bit. And everything went off the market. And you couldn't get, if you went on eBay to buy a box of Devil Dogs, it was $15.
Oh my God.
Because they were gouging and it wasn't available.
Cost like 10? I mean 5, 10.
A box of Devil Dogs is if you got it on sale, it was $3.
Oh, okay.
Or 2.5, 2 for $5 sometimes, right? Now with inflation and everything, it's probably $4 a box. But still, it's you get a dozen Devil Dogs for $3 or $4. Suddenly on eBay, it was $15-20 because it was rare and they were going out of business and they weren't making them. And then the Bimbo company ended up buying. I'm not kidding. It's not a company run by a dumb blonde. The company's called Bimbo, bought Drake's and started remanufacturing Devil Dogs. And that kept Mom out of the psych ward, I think, because she says like she could have her Devil Dog, have her coffee in the morning. And then eventually, they taste it. And you can tell her, well, what about like this company, Ring Dings? She doesn't like the chocolate coating. Or this other company that makes something kind of like it, but it's got an extra chocolate center. No. It's got to be like the dryness of the pastry
Oh,
and the
God.
wet, the moisture of the oily cream in the middle. And then it goes with the coffee that washes it down, and the coffee's not that sweet, and the thing is sweet, and it matches, it's her thing. And so maybe, as you said, maybe someone will take over the fields, will recreate the beauty, the glory, the wonder that was Sir Kensington
Oh, wow.
Classic. Well, you know, let's go to Walmart today, just for like 10 minutes. I'll run in.
Okay.
I'll see if they have any bottles in stock.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that they do at this
They
point.
might.
A month ago, maybe.
Maybe they didn't pull it or it's on clearance. Yeah.
And then we'll just stock up the back room with them.
Yeah, we could do that.
Or we have the on-air sign and we just line the bottles up here behind the wall.
That would be messy.
Well, no, we're not gonna, once they're open, we move them.
Mhm.
But we just have the bottles.
Are your guests coming in? It's almost 10.
Well, Ron has been really patiently
Oh,
waiting.
Ron.
Ron Rand
Do
is.
you have his thing?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, yeah, good. Okay.
I do. Ron sent me a gift this week. It was a strange week. So Ron is in the waiting room waiting to play the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz. Oh, can you just check my messages on their text message to see if either Leslie or David has any issues or any whatever's.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Sure.
What's that?
Sure. I'm going to say sure. She can just do audio. Sure.
Fine. So Leslie apparently is just going to be doing audio today. I hope she's feeling well though. And then David Sheward is going to be with us. Let me tell you a little something about the insanity of this program, Dave's Gone By, which has been on the air since
I don't see
2002.
Leslie.
What?
It's not Leslie and David. I'll find.
Oh, yeah, I don't know where that old thread
I can
was.
find
Might have gotten
it.
deleted.
Just search. David Sheward. Should I write him?
No, he's still got 2 minutes to log on.
Oh, okay.
So, and I text. I mean, if he's not
Did you email
here,
him the new link?
I did.
I'll remind him it's a new link.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me check Facebook very quickly to make sure that I can get a message from either of them. But Dave's Gone By. This is our 883rd episode of the program. As I said, we started this back in October of 2002. And if you are curious about the previous 20 plus years of this program, all you got to do is go to davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONEBY.com. That is where all our archives reside. You can listen to the first show that we ever did. It was an hour-long terrestrial radio show that we did on WGBB on Long Island. We have the audio. We saved it. We saved this. We lost the second show, but we have the third and the 13th and the 113th and the 413th and the 813th. They're all there. Like the last 100 or so, or 200 almost, are video now. We've got them. They're free. You can download them. You can, scroll through them. If you don't want to listen to the whole 3 or 4 hours of the show, you can scroll to the parts that you like. And it's all there at davesgoneby.com. We also put our archives up at archive.org. Archive.org. It's a not-for-profit website that gathers entertainment and art from hundreds and hundreds of years, as long as they either have permission or it's public domain.
The word today is akimbo. Do you know what it means?
Isn't when you stand with your arms akimbo, isn't it like on your hips or something?
With
Or
your hands on your hips and your elbows outward, bent, used of arms and legs bent outward away from the body.
yeah, like the King and I. He stands like that. Or
Yes.
there's a Broadway musical now called Kimberly Akimbo. Akimbo. So we got Ron entering the Daverhood, and we had Leslie for a moment, and now I don't see her. Leslie, come back.
David, you got the bad clapping machine. You gotta leave this in your.
Oh, well, then put that one in the car, and then we have this one that might work. So joining us to play the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz is Ronald Rand. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing really great. How about yourself?
I'm especially good knowing that your shirt now matches what? Your kitchen tapestry? How does that work? How did you manage that?
Let me see.
I've been spending all
Oh, I
morning
love
working
it.
on
That's
it.
a Hawaiian shirt. That's
It's,
Hawaiian
yeah,
shirt.
no, I love
Yeah.
Hawaiian shirts. I really do.
And surprisingly, I'll tell you the truth, this shirt actually comes from the Cayman Islands.
What?
Yes, I was down there doing my show at the National Theater and teaching my workshop, and I've been there twice now, and so I went to swim with the dolphins down there.
Oh man.
Hopefully not wearing that shirt because it would really shrink afterwards with the saltwater and stuff.
No, I actually bought it in the shop right after I swam with the dolphins, just to remember the experience. But it's a beautiful shirt, as you can
It is.
see, and it has the whole island of the Caymans on it, and the people down there are so beautiful. And I just had such a marvelous time. I was doing a Let It Be Art because I did it a few years ago. I'm now in the 23rd year of touring the show.
This
And
is
I'm
about Harold Clurman, the theater director. Yeah.
Yes, and it's just been an extraordinary experience, and I've taken it to 26 countries and 20 states, and right now I'm talking to Africa, to a country over there, and also to a university down in the South. So
You know, I tried calling Africa, but there's so many millions of people there. I couldn't think of who to ask for. I just open the window and I Africa, and you know, just nothing.
well, it's great to see you. You look terrific.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, and obviously with that shirt, you're looking pretty terrific too.
Oh,
We did have Leslie Hoban Blake
uh-huh.
about to log on,
Okay.
and then she disappeared. She's obviously having some technical issues.
Okay.
Whatever. And let me get to David also because usually he's on time and Leslie's late, and now I don't see where Leslie is.
Okay.
So I'm sending him that. I'm hoping he remembers, or I'll have to text him as well. But yeah, we're going to be playing the today yesterday game at the very least with Ron Rand. And you know, so where are you doing the Clurman show next? Tell everybody.
Well, I'm in discussion right now with the University of Ghana. And so that would be extraordinary if it can work out. It's just a matter of timing. And I'm also talking with a university down in Louisiana as well.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I actually was supposed to be leaving, and unfortunately, a terrible catastrophe happened, but I was on my way to Turkey.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I would have been there. And so
was it in that area where the earthquake was?
No, actually in Ankara, in the capital, which is quite a ways away. But my heart goes out to everyone there. And, you know, it's such a beautiful country, beautiful people. And I was there already in Eskişehir doing my show in the middle of the country. So I have friends there. And
where were you?
In Eskişehir.
Down. Thank you. Thank you so much. A little racist humor for your morning. Yeah, Eskişehir. That's a beautiful name, though.
It's an amazing place, and they also have gondolas in the middle of their city there. One would not suspect, but
no.
They had a relationship with Venice, and they have these canals that they built in the middle of the desert when they were setting up the city there, and so you can hop on a gondola.
You know, it's funny. We were years ago. Joyce and I were with students in Italy.
Uh-huh.
And we went to Venice and we saw the gondolas, but we didn't take one.
Ah.
I feel like, probably should. You know, it's a tourist thing. It's over, but I don't know. I probably should have gotten in a gondola.
Yeah, it's great fun. I was in Venice and went all over in the gondola, especially under the Bridge of Sighs. And now you can't do it, of course, until the water comes back because it's all mud right now. It's low tides and they're having an issue with getting the water through the canal. So you can't even get on a gondola at the moment.
Oh, solo mucko, we cannot move. We're sitting here stuck now. Anywho, wow. Well,
I have to tell you, I'm also in the 24th year of my newspaper, The Soul of the American Actor. And so people can find it at soulamericanactor.com. And I have to tell you, I just did a wonderful interview with Louis Mofsey. He's the elder of the Thunderbird
Oh,
American Indian
the
dancers.
American Indian dancers, yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it for 50 plus years, and I went to see them. I saw them back in the 70s and 80s, so they just did a performance at Theater for New City. But I
Yeah,
sat
every
down.
year, I've got to say, I'm wondering about this because
Yeah,
every year Theater for the New City brings back the Thunderbird American dancers, and I'm
yes.
like, isn't really after the first 5 minutes, there's just a bunch of people go woo 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 woo, and like colorful costumes, but it's the same fucking dance for an hour and a half, or no? Is it?
No, no, it's nothing like what you would think it is. Actually, Lewis is an elder and he's close, working his way to 90, but you actually experience the real American dances from across the country. And then they invite you up to actually dance with them. So
Really?
it's a wonderful experience, and there's nothing like it. It's always wonderful to experience storytelling through Native American dancing because actually all of our dances come from them, and they've been around for thousands of years. So we're really continuing all the dances from them, and it's a wonderful way to really connect with a great heritage.
And actually, at the end of the show, you can go in the lobby and smoke a peace vape.
No, it's not like that. You are so silly. Hey,
Well,
David's there.
David Sheward, welcome to the Daverhood. David Sheward, how are you, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
We're great. We're great. We're doing. It's good to see you. I was worried you weren't going to make it here, but I see you. And how was your week?
This was a nice week. It's President's Day week, so we have off. It's been a nice week.
Did you go anywhere? Did you or just hang out and grade, or did you get to go somewhere?
Oh well, let me see. I visited my mother in Pennsylvania. What else? I had a colonoscopy.
Okay.
What a great week.
Yeah, really.
Okay. Stop right. Well, by the way, welcome, Leslie. But how I've been tempted. I don't know. It's something I should do. I'm 59 years old. How was it, David?
It was fine. It was inconvenient. It was uncomfortable.
Was it uncomfortable?
The preparation is uncomfortable.
Meaning, did you have to
you have
travel, or what did you have to do?
You can't eat solid food for 24 hours before the procedure for a
All
whole
right.
day.
Yeah.
And you have to take this awful tasting laxative, and so you evacuate your system, and
Right.
then you go in and they anesthetize you, and
They do
and
anesthetize.
they do
Were
this
you
procedure.
completely out, or just lower half?
Oh yes, I was completely out. Yes,
Oh.
It's one of the best naps you'll ever get.
yes, it was a very nice nap.
Why do they have to still do that? Why?
Because
It's
to
just a
make sure
tube.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's just a tube. Why can they have to put you completely out?
So that they can do their job better. I don't know. It's interesting. I was listening to a podcast recently, and evidently there are dogs that can be trained to smell certain types of cancer. Like if you have a change, they can detect it, and they can be trained to do that. And I asked the doctor, and they said on the podcast, this could eliminate the need for colonoscopies. And the doctor said, well, there's early research on that. They don't know how reliable it is. It's not as
Well, all right, but you know what? My wife, Joyce, did just 2-3 weeks ago. She did the Cologuard thing, which I'm really tempted to. I want to do the because it's you poop. There's no needles. There's nothing invasive.
Yes.
You put the poo thing in the toilet. You poo in it. You send off a scraping of the poo to the Cologuard people, and then they tell you at that point either, all right, we saw something. Now go to a doctor and get a real thing. Or everything looks fine, and thank God with her, everything looks fine. But I would love to. Unfortunately, I think you need a doctor's permission or signing off in order to go and get a Cologuard kit and do it, as opposed to just paying $150 and finding yourself. But I would totally do that. I don't know why that has not precluded the need for colonoscopies.
I don't know. The doctor has just told me that. This is more thorough. It covers more territory, as it were, and it's more reliable.
Now, none of my business, but have you gotten the results? And
yes, everything's fine.
Yay! Let's all have a round of applause for David Sheward.
And I don't have to go again for 5 years.
They got to do this every 5 years?
Yeah.
What? When the blood test tell, I just don't understand.
You could develop something in that time.
Yeah, of course. But I would figure a blood test would tell you more than your tushy.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the
David-
biggest reasons
David-
I actually had it done, and the thing is that they told me that it's about the polyps. They're not able to see those without the test, and that's one of the most
Exactly.
important things.
Yes.
Now, Leslie, do women have to have this too?
Of course.
All
Yes.
right.
Human being, David, human beings. We're still a classification of human beings.
Well, you guys, I don't know about myself, but so have you ever, Leslie, or have you?
Yes, I have twice. And not only that, David, we have to undergo, as Joyce knows, we have to undergo the other end as well. So there you go,
You mean the front end or the
We
top?
have to do the pap test as well as the damn colonoscopy.
Yeah. I remember I wanted to do the pap test, but the public theater was closed that day. So
I know.
Oh,
comedy. So one of
What
the
I said was it's the best snap I've ever had.
Yes.
I'm not sure what they use. I was talking to the doctor and then whoop, out, just out like that. Just
Yes.
Well, that's all right. That's okay. How bad?
The cup's wonky. I'm gonna go in there and
Oh.
get the cup's wonky.
Yeah, go for it.
It's very hot, and I'm very hot, dude.
Oh, thank you. Joyce just made me tea. Say hi, Joyce. Say hi to the crowd.
Guys, I have to go eat my breakfast because I woke
Hi,
up. and I had
Joyce.
to be on David.
hey, Joyce.
I gotta go eat my breakfast because I had.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, Leslie, how was your week? I know we have you only on audio today. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was doing well, and then I did a stupid thing. I'm not even going to tell you what I did, and I was up all night. The medication makes me. We just pulled back on the medication yesterday. The medication makes me not only have double vision and some dizziness and whatnot, but it also makes me unable to work on more than one thing at a time. I'm usually a multitasker,
And now
and
it's-
it makes my brain work on one thing at a time.
Oh man. Okay, is this for shingles or was this the other thing that you were dealing with?
No, we're still working with the post-herpetic thing. The shingles have gone. What I
Right.
have is that thing that 50% of human women get, which is this leftover thing. And it runs along the lines of where the shingles were. And it gives you maybe 1/10 of the problem, but it's very, very painful, exceedingly painful. And if you don't keep the medication at just the right place, you still feel it. Otherwise, if you keep the medication at the right place, you don't feel it anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense, what I just said, but that's what's going on.
When I think of 50% of women, I just think of, incredibly annoying. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're watching the Dave's Gone By.
Here.
We've got our group of players of the Today, Yesterday trivia quiz who've all played it before. So I'm going to keep the rules real quick and simple. It's just trivia questions, many of the questions having to do with something that either happened in the news this week or something that happened on this date, February 25th, sometime in history. Questions are worth 2 points each. If the person doesn't get it right, another contestant has the option to steal and try and answer the same question. So if you guys are ready, let me ask, I guess Ron is still sort of the newbie. Ron, can you think of a number, please, between 1 and 6 and tell us what it is?
how about 2?
Ron, with squeezing out a number 2, and then Leslie Hoban Blake, noblesse oblige, you're 6,
Yes, please, if nobody minds, I would like to keep 6.
and David Sheward.
I'll say 3.
David with a 3. I'm going to roll a one-sided, this is to the Facebook page. Where's my die page? Here's my die page. Roll 4. Okay. 4. Oh, God, this die thing. 5, 5, 2. Jesus. 2. Oh, wait, Ron, 2. Yeah. So, Ronald, do you want to go first, second, or third?
I'll jump in and go first. What the heck?
Go, Ron. All
Okay.
right. You brave man. And then
Yeah,
find out who
crazy.
comes after.
yeah.
5, 5, 2, Jesus. 1, 5, 2, For fuck's sake, 2. What is wrong with this thing? 1,
Hey,
3.
2.
Oh, I just take a 3. David. David Sheward, do you want to be second or third?
I'll go third.
Oh, interesting. So David third and Leslie going to answer second. So Ron, are you ready for the first question
Okay,
of the today, yesterday trivia quiz?
sure.
So again, today is February 25th. We go back all the way to February 25th, 1751. All right. And this is not a multiple choice. You know, answer if you know it. For 1 penny, New Yorkers could be entertained by watching Manny dressed in a clown costume, smoking a cigarette, playing a musical instrument, and riding a goat. But what made Manny special?
What? Oh.
There's not a multiple choice.
Oh, I'm supposed to know what made him special?
Yes,
Can you say it one more time?
you
Oh,
betcha.
okay.
Okay, the year was 1751. For a penny, New Yorkers could be entertained by watching Manny dressed in a clown costume, smoking a cigarette, playing a musical instrument, and riding a goat. So what made Manny special?
I would say that he's a mechanical toy, maybe.
Oh, I gotta get my thing. Is that your? I don't have my little tappy.
I
I'm gonna have to use my flute for the tappy.
I would have to think, perhaps, I don't know. Let's see, 1751. Did they have mechanical toys back then? I know they had wooden toys. What made Manny special? He rode a goat and he smoked a cigar and he wore,
Correct.
you said, a clown costume?
Yes.
And he did this in 1751
Correct.
in New York City, or where did you say?
It says New York, but
It says New York.
Well, I'm guessing New York City or environs.
Uh-huh. Manny special.
I think I have my tappy.
One sense, he rode a goat. Maybe that's in a clown costume. I can't think of anything else except that, so I'll have to go with that. Maybe it's too soon to have it, but I'll try that.
So you're saying Manny was a mechanical toy. That the only
Yes.
final answer?
Final answer. I've seen so many.
Well, I guess I'm just toying with you, because I'm not going to give you any points for that. That is not the correct answer. I'm going to roll the die. Leslie Hoban Blake, finally, this first time after 20 rolls, it came up 6. So,
I think it was a monkey playing, using cymbals. And then later on they went to a hurdy-gurdy, but I think that was the first monkey.
so is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that could smoke a cigar, that could smoke a cigarette and fit on top of a goat at the same time.
Well, when I was a child, I could actually, but
Yes, I know.
final answer?
Except for you, David, when you were a child, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. I don't know if monkey is enough. It would be a chimpanzee,
wouldn't
but
it be?
monkey would be the.
Yeah.
Well, Leslie, I'm about to go ape over your answer because that is, in fact, the correct. He was
Oh,
the monkey.
wow. A
Manny
monkey.
the monkey from 1751. He was, and the thing is, he was the very first monkey to be exhibited in the United States, and he was so successful they brought a rival over, Chim Chim, to compete later on. Chim Chim the chimpanzee, and they hated each other, of course. So they used to fight all the time. But Leslie Hoban Blake on the board with 2 points for Manny the monkey. David, I think you kind of had that one. You looked like that was going to be your answer too, wasn't
No,
it?
I was going to say a dog.
Oh, clever also. But no,
I don't think dogs can smoke. They can do all of the other stuff, but I don't think they can smoke.
I thought he could be trained to hold it in his mouth, but you're right.
Oh, I
think-
see.
they can
Okay.
chew tobacco and
Yeah.
spit
Yeah, you
and
don't-
pitch
yeah,
baseball.
but you're right. A monkey would be able to take the cigarette.
Is
out of his
actually
mouth.
able to smoke it, as far as I know.
Oh,
So well done, Leslie. And guess what, Leslie? You already have the lead.
Yay!
Now this next question goes to you. You can build
Yes, of course. That's the way it goes sometimes, you know.
and this one is a multiple choice. Okay.
Okay.
And it's about the arts. So maybe you're in pretty good shape here. Here we go. The year was 1830. Debuting tonight in Paris is a new play by Victor Hugo, full of romance, royal intrigue, and tragedy in 16th century Spain. Though the premiere drew protests from classicists for its rule breaking, only a few years later Giuseppe Verdi would adapt the play into an opera. Was the play A. Sigismundo, B. Don Carlos, C. Hernani, D. Tancredi?
I don't know enough about opera. The only one that I recognize is Hernani, so I'm going to say Hernani.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, it's the only one that I recognize as a definite opera.
Well, they actually also adapted it into the TV show Hernani and the Professor. But you are oh, 2 points for Leslie Hoban Blake. It was Hernani, Hernani by
Amazing.
Victor Hugo, and then Verdi did the opera Ernani. Again, set in Spain back in the 16th century. So well done, Leslie, with 4 points on the board. Woo-ha! David Sheward,
Yes.
you have some catching up to do.
Yes.
We're talking about catch up. So,
Oh,
did you hear Sir Kensington is not going to do catch up anymore? Does this destroy your souls?
That what?
no, I never used that brand for, that's probably why I never used that brand for ketchup. Did any of the rest of you?
Oh, it's so good. Oh,
No,
I've
I
used
always
it.
have what's it, Heinz.
well, hi. Of
Yeah,
course.
I generally have Heinz also.
But here's the deal, David. You have a change one letter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like those.
You like to see, this one's okay. Change one letter and has to do with something in the news.
Oh, quickly. The last answer was that C or B?
It was C. It was C, David. I was going to say
Okay.
something.
It was C. Hernani, yeah. Okay, so,
All right.
but this one is a change one letter.
All
So
right.
it's going to be 2 different answers, each worth 1 point if you get
All
them.
right.
And each of the answers is 1 letter, away from the other.
All right.
Folks felt the pain when a Norfolk train did this and fractured apart. You'd do better to change 1 letter to a word that means particular part.
Oh, I'm going to say derail and detail.
Wow.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Delightful. Holy birthday. That just came
Wow.
right to you. I mean, I
Amazing.
figured you would get it, but I didn't think you would get it in about a quarter of a second.
Yeah, I was working on Crash. I wasn't thinking of derail at all.
Well, what else could it possibly be?
No,
No. Well, it was a train. I was working on. I know, but I just didn't get to derail. Okay, very good, David.
Well
Very
done.
good.
And of course, detail is a particular part. And the derailment in East Palestine, Ohio.
Yes.
Palestine,
Oh,
please.
is that how they pronounce it?
Yes, they pronounce it Palestine.
I just wish this would happen in the real. But anyway, just kidding. Just kidding. 2 points for David Sheward.
Wow.
So you're only 2 behind Leslie as we end the first round of this week's Today Yesterday quiz on Dave's Gone By, which means we move back now to Ronald, who
Okay.
got some catching up to do,
I do.
but you still have some time. However, your first question is 3 clues.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But it's not going
Sorry,
to you, Leslie.
sorry,
It's going
Ron.
on. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, those are rough.
So here's what it is 3 words. You know how this works, so I don't really have to explain it too much.
Okay.
3 words or 3 clues that are connected to the word that we're looking for. They're not connected to each other. Each of these words is connected to a word we're looking for and a word that has something to do with something that happened in the news this week. Got it?
Got it.
All right. The clues are male, gag, short.
Which mail is that?
MAIL.
Thank you.
Oh, MAIL. short. Male gag short. Okay, let's see. Male gag short. Wow. Okay, that's very tricky. Let's see. I would say well, the only thing that comes to mind is I'm thinking of well, somebody who did a lot of gags was Belzer. So I'll have to go with Belzer because I can't think of anything else.
Is that your final
Final answer.
All right. There's no comedy there. Not the
Okay.
correct answer, I'm afraid. That's not
All right, I
There are
tried.
two answers anyway no, I'm sorry, there'd be one answer, but that's
Yeah.
not what we're looking for. I'm gonna roll the
Okay.
die.
Gag short.
Leslie, 6. 6 again.
Order, O-R-D-E-R, order.
Order.
Is that your final answer, Leslie?
Oh, man.
Yes.
Order in the court, order in the court. Leslie
Well,
now has
she's really
6
on top of
points.
it. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Wow.
Leslie
Good.
Blake gets it. The word is gag order, mail order, short order, like short order.
Sure is.
And oh my God, Ronald, you had the thing because the reason order was in the news was that Richard Belzer, after
Uh-huh.
he did homicide, was on Law and Order for year after year after year after.
I knew there was a connection someplace.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. That's incredible.
Yeah. And we also lost Barbara Bossum this week from the NYPD Blue. I
Yes.
know.
Oh, wow, yeah, I used
Yeah.
to like her.
Wonderful actress.
Was she
Yeah,
also on? Was she the one that was on Hill Street Blues?
That's her.
I believe so, yeah.
I know she was on Hill
She
Street.
was,
Blues.
she was
on-
Furlow's ex-wife. That's right.
Yeah.
So we have Leslie with 6 points, David who can
Wow.
still tie with 2 points. But here's the deal: Leslie has the
Okay.
next question.
Oh,
So Leslie,
gosh.
put this away right here,
Oh, my
Okay.
God.
and it's a multiple choice. So this is going to get interesting. Well, let's see how interesting it gets. Here we go. Leslie Hoban Blake. Remember, it was February 25th, 1982. Okay. It's the end of an era as the final original episode of the Lawrence Welk Show airs in syndication. Which of these
finally.
is. What was it?
I said finally.
Oh. 1982 was 40 friggin' years ago. That is a long time ago. But which of these is false about wonderful Lawrence Welk? A, the Lawrence Welk recording Calcutta knocked the Shirelles' Will You Love Me Tomorrow off the #1 slot on the pop charts. B, Welk once took out a patent on an accordion-themed tray for serving squeeze burgers at restaurants. C, Welk sued comedian Stan Freberg for his musical parody of Welk's show. He lost. Or D, clarinetist Pete Fountain left the show after Welk wouldn't let him add a jazz solo to a Christmas song. One of these, only one of these, is false.
Okay.
Oh, the false one. Oh.
And which of these is the false one?
This
I-
is for
I was
me,
gonna pick
right?
out the true-
This
Yeah,
is
that's-
mine,
pick out the
David?
true one.
Leslie's question,
This is-
yes.
Okay, well, the obvious one that one would think is false is anything to do with the squeeze. I don't understand what you could add to an accordion that would make a squeeze hamburger. I do not understand that. I mean, unless you fill the accordion with hamburger meat and put a hole in the bottom and then squeeze out.
It
I just
squeezes
can't
out the
imagine what
burgers,
that
then you then you have to fry
I
them.
think both C and D are true, I believe. I know C is true. I'm not sure about D. So it's in between A and B. And I don't know that did Lawrence Welk ever have a #1? I imagine he did. I'm gonna go for the obvious one, B. The patent on the squeeze box doesn't make sense to me.
So you're saying it is not true that Welk once took out a patent on an accordion-themed tray for serving squeeze burgers at restaurants. You're saying that
Oh, wait a minute, it was a tray. Oh, okay. I didn't hear the part about the tray. I just heard about the squeeze box and the hamburgers. Oh,
Oh.
wait a minute. Oh. Oh, you might very well have done that. I don't know. How the hell would I know?
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
I know, I understand. Okay, I'm gonna stick with it. B.
you're going to say
He probably did exactly that. Okay. Just go for B.
final answer is B is false. That
Yeah.
you're saying Welsh did not take out a patent or did not invent the accordion, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to put the squeeze on you, Leslie, but he did invent some stuff, and he was trying to get a chain restaurant of Welk-themed things where it wouldn't be like an actual accordion. It was a tray.
Yeah,
bringing the
I
steak.
can't, I'm having trouble wrapping my head around what that would look like. It's
But
okay,
it,
go
it
ahead.
was actually, he did do this. So, Leslie, the game's not over yet. We have a die roll. Here we go.
Okay.
Pardon me, 5, 4, 3, which is David Sheward.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, all right. So which of these is false? He had, what was the number one hit was
I'll
what?
read the choices again. So which of these is false about Lawrence Welk? A, the Lawrence Welk recording Calcutta knocked the Shirelles' Will You Love Me Tomorrow off the #1 slot of the pop charts. C, Welk sued comedian Stan Freberg for his musical parody of Welk's show. He lost. Or D, clarinetist Pete Fountain left the show after Welk wouldn't let him add a jazz solo to a Christmas song.
Oh,
One of
okay.
these is false.
All right. Well, I agree with Leslie. I think the Stan Freberg thing has the ring of truth to it. I think that did happen. So it's either A, the Shirelles, or B, Pete Fountain. And I remember Pete Fountain. I remember him being on the Mike Douglas show a lot, and I think, is that who I'm thinking of? I think he was on the Mike Douglas show and the Gary Moore show. I think that's who that is. Any one of these, they sound like, all right, I'll say D, that Pete Fountain left the show when he wasn't allowed to do a jazz thing.
You're saying that did not happen. That is not true.
Wait a minute, that actually does sound true, but I don't know if Pete Fountain was on the show as a regular. So it sounds like you're saying that he was a regular on the show.
The clue is,
Yeah.
all I can do is clarinetist Pete Fountain left the show after Welk wouldn't let him add a jazz solo to a Christmas song.
I'll go with that one. I'll go with D. I think that's not true.
Okay. Final answer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, your clarinet answer is. Oh, actually, I did the wrong thing. I should do that again.
That's not a clarinet.
It's an ill wind that blows you no good, David Sheward. I'm afraid that is not the correct answer.
Oh,
Which
Goodness.
technically means that Leslie has won the game, but Ronald, you
Did you steal that from Lizzo?
from
from
Lizzo?
Lizzo.
Is this her vibrator or something?
Isn't that the glass? Isn't that the original John Adams glass flute? Whatever that thing is you're playing. Never
No,
mind.
this is a
Never mind. It was
$5.
a Lizzo joke. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
I don't listen to
Or Lizzo
what's
Joe.
her name?
Yes.
I like watching Lezzos, but that's very different. So, Ron,
Yes.
you
Can you read him the ones that are left?
which of these is false about Lawrence Welk?
Yeah.
A, the Lawrence Welk recording Calcutta knocked the Shirelles' Will You Love Me Tomorrow off the #1 slot of the pop charts? Or C, Welk sued comedian Stan Freberg for his musical parody of
Okay.
Welk's show. He lost.
Well, I'd have to say it was the knocking the Shirelles off. Okay, we'll go with that one.
We'll go
Okay.
with the
Yeah.
Shirelles.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. We'll give it a whirl.
Well, oh, Ron, will you still love me tomorrow? Because you're wrong.
I'm wrong. Not a lot left.
Yeah, no.
So the other
Well-
one was right.
Welk complained Welk was not happy that Stan Freberg made fun of him with that that famous popular recording of Wonderful, but he never sued him. He never.
Oh.
Oh, I thought he did.
Oh,
No.
And to the point, as weird as it was, when Welk wrote his 1972, I think it was, memoir, he titled it Wonderful, Wonderful, even though he told Freeberg, I don't say that. I've never said that. And yeah, so he co-opted something that was out of the parody of himself right there.
wow.
But by the way, we do love Ron in the Daverhood. Before we get to our final
Oh.
question before the tiebreaker, Ron was very kind this week. He knew my birthday was about a month ago. And unlike you, Leslie sent me a pancake thing, which was very nice for Hanukkah, a little dreidel pancake maker. David, you didn't get me shit, but Ronald created.
Oh, isn't that
this.
sweet? Look at that.
Oh.
It's me as Mr. Potato Head.
I love it. It's a potato. It's potato.
I mean, well, no,
Yes.
he said Dave, Mr. Potato Head, right on. He
Oh.
painted this rock.
Oh, that's
man.
adorable.
And to me, I don't know. I think I look like I don't know, George Foreman as a pinhead. I don't think I see myself in this. The yarmulke,
It's a
But the-
perfect likeness, yes.
but the hands are very Mr. Potato Head, and the ears.
Yeah.
I get it. Thank you, Ron. Thank
Do
You're
you.
you know
very
that was
welcome.
my kids? Do you know that's what my kids put on their wedding cake? They
Dave,
had this
Mr.
big-
Potato Head?
My
Is that
my
a rock?
daughter-in-law had this gorgeous gown. My son was in a tuxedo, and they had a Mr. Potato Head on top of the cake, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head on top of the cake.
That's
It was,
adorable.
it was wonderful.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, and then you can take parts of the cake and put, you can put the chocolate on this side and then move the chocolate on that side. The candy canes here and there, so like a potato head cake. Anywho, David Sheward, you can't win the game. I'm sorry, but
Well,
you can get.
I'm devastated.
No, you're
How
David.
How can I
You're
go
David.
on?
You're not,
But we do have one more question for you before we hit the
Okay.
tiebreaker. And it's, Leslie, you didn't get this week.
Clues in the news?
David is getting 3 clues in the news.
Okay.
oh,
wow,
David,
okay.
I'm
I
so
had
sorry.
I
I'm
knew
so
the other
sorry
one was
for you.
order right away. So.
Yeah, you jumped on that one. You might get this one as well.
All right.
So again, 3 words not connected to each other. They're connected to the word we're looking for, something in the news. Ready?
All right.
The
Yeah.
words are Mr.
Mr.
Gallery
Gallery.
Linus.
Potato Head. No, I'm joking. Mr. Gallery and Linus. Linus. Well, the only 2 Linuses. Oh, wait a minute. Linus. This doesn't make any sense. It's something it's related to something that happened in the news this week. Well, it can't be. The only 2 Linuses I can think of are Linus Van Pelt and Linus Pauling, but that doesn't make any sense.
I'm very chuffed that you knew Van Pelt. My God.
Well, Van Pelt was this
I
Linus,
know who it was. I'm just
Linus and Lucy's last name in the penis.
Yep.
connection.
I got that. I know. And I also got Pauling. I'm just curious. That's
And
all.
Linus.
Hmm.
Linus. I can only think of Linus the Lionhearted, as voiced by Sheldon Leonard on the Linus the Lionhearted cartoon show. Gallery walk, Mr. Oh, it's like I couldn't get the order one. That was easy. I had that right away. Mr.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, somehow Leslie got it.
Gallery Ed. Mr. Ed, Gallery Walk. No, Knight. No, Mr. Knight. No, Linus Knight. No. Gallery. What happened this week? Oh God. Mr. Ukraine. No. Mr. Derailment. No, we did that already. Well, last week you must have done something about the balloon, or the week before.
We did Raquel Welch last week.
Oh, okay. Who else died? Oh, Barbara Boston. We already said that.
And Belzer.
Mr. Ed Linus, Mr. I don't know. This will suffer. I'll say Ed. It's the only thing I can think of.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, I can't think of anything else.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that is not
Oh,
correct. I mean, again, it doesn't. Leslie's already won the game, but we're gonna roll the die.
Wow.
Two. Wrong.
yes. Say the words again, one more
Okay,
time.
these are three clues in the news. They're connected in some way to a word that we're looking for. Okay, it could be blank this, blank that, or it could also just be connected. Here are the clues. Mr. Gallery Linus.
Well, I mean, the Oscars are coming up, so I'll just have to say Oscar.
Oh,
That's all I can think of.
Oscar. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, we'll try Oscar.
Well, Oscar. That is not the correct answer. Leslie, Hoban, Blake,
Oh, my
you have
God.
6
Okay,
points.
I have no idea, except I want to know now because it's in my head. What is that fat guy who explodes after eating beans in the Monty Python movie? What is his name? Mr. What?
I can give you this. They call him Mr. Creosote.
Thank you. That's not who it is, but I couldn't get that out of my head.
Wow.
Thank you very much. No, I can't find it. I keep coming up with the word art because of gallery.
Oh, that'd be cool. But is that?
But I don't have, there's no Mr. Art or Art Mr. and there's no Linus Art or Art Linus, so I don't know. Nope, nothing.
I've stumped the panel again.
You did.
You did.
Oh, you're actually gonna love the answer to this one. I promise you, even though you hate me now. But here's the deal. Let's go back to Linus, right? Think of the Linuses you know, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh, I
And
know
rather than
several.
going blank
yes.
Linus or Linus blank, think broader. Think bigger of what Linus is playing.
Blanket.
What? No.
Piano.
Blanket.
Linus plays the piano.
No, Schroeder.
That was Schroeder.
Oh, sorry. Well, there you go.
And it's not a security. No, it's not blanket.
Polio vaccines.
No, it's not. It's not Linus
Oh.
Pauling. What? Leslie?
No, Linus Pauling didn't have anything to do with the polio vaccine.
What was he then? What was Linus Pauling?
He had vitamin C. He had something to do with vitamin C.
Oh,
I thought he did the polio vaccine also.
No,
No,
I-
that's Jonas Salk.
the sock.
That was Jonas Salk.
Yeah.
Maybe he also invented one. I don't know. I'm lost here.
Yeah, you've
Science?
got us.
All
Science.
right. Here we go. One was the other big story in the news that we thought was going to be a death, but isn't yet.
Jimmy Carter.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Peanuts.
Linus Carter.
Oh, for
Oh,
heaven's sake.
Peanuts. Oh, Peanuts.
Oh, that
I
really
see,
isn't.
Peanut.
I don't know.
Mr. Peanut, Peanut
Yes,
Gallery.
I get the first.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
get
but
that
you know that
now.
we've never done it that way. No, David, that's unfair.
That's a
It's not
stretch.
fair at all.
Yeah, Linus and Peanuts. That's really stretching it.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah, you know, I said it
no,
didn't
no.
have to be blank this or blank that. It's a word that makes you think of
Did you
another.
say that?
No, it's always been the before and after. Hasn't it, David Sheward? Hasn't it always?
Yeah, I
been?
don't remember there being a word that's like associated with it.
No,
Oh,
we
really?
don't- Yeah,
Oh,
you're
really?
pushing it here, David. It's
I am
bad enough
pushing-
the way it is.
When I give the basic usual clue that I have for a couple of years, the sample one was sweet couch vegetable.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh, I see.
And the answer was what? Potato.
Yes. All right. I never thought about it that way. Okay. It was
Wow.
right there in the clue, David. It was there
Yeah,
all
really,
the
it
time.
was-
Oh my
And
goodness.
I said
Okay.
Linus and Lucy Van Pelt.
Yeah, you had Linus. I thought you
Yeah,
might get
yeah,
there. I
yeah,
thought, yeah,
yeah.
with Peanut for Jimmy Carter, who went into hospice this past week, but is not quite.
And then got better. I think that's hysterical.
What? What? He didn't.
Well, he's feeling okay.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're close to the end. I mean, hospice is, it
Yeah, my
can
dad was
go on
under
for a
hospice
while.
care for a year and a half. I get it, but I thought, they were circling the wagons, if you will.
No, he just decided to go early. He's old and I think he's terrific. They're gonna have to hit him in the head with a nail to make him go.
I hope not.
I mean him no harm. I mean him no disrespect. I'm sorry. It's just he's a tough old codger.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean,
Amazing
if he
guy.
hadn't said so many stupid things about Israel, and if he
I
hadn't
know,
such a
I know.
lousy president.
I know.
But anywho, aside from those two things, he's a decent egg.
Decent enough chap, yes, right.
Yeah. So, by the way, we're gonna have a decent question here for our tiebreaker. Let's not forget we do have a tiebreaker, and Leslie, you'll have to say it. Ron and David, if you wouldn't mind writing it down, as we.
All right.
Okay.
Am I tied with anybody?
No, you won outright.
You won.
Oh, okay.
Outright, like
You won.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I'm working on half a battery here.
No, not at all.
You just put us to shame today. That's okay.
Yeah,
I
right.
did I?
Just
Okay.
Leslie on drugs. If she'd been
Yeah, she
fully
got-
compensated.
Tito.
She was
Well, I
lucky.
did win last week too. Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
What drugs are on? I want to start taking them.
Oh, no.
Cymbalta and Lyrica.
Oh, wow.
I've actually heard of those. Those are the ones they advertise. I didn't know what they were for per se, but okay.
Well, I have an off-label use of Cymbalta, but Cymbalta is a mood-altering drug. It's used for in psychotherapy,
Oh,
and
for
so I'm
some-
very mellow. I'm very
I think
mellow.
I have
I
seen
mean, that's-
commercials for that.
I don't think they do. They do have one for Lyrica, but
I
that's
keep
because of
thinking
the.
of, what keeps going through my mind is Zampe.
I know. We can't get any of those weird things out of it. Did you see the one? I don't remember which one this is, but when you get to the things that could happen to you, the side effects.
Well,
It says
That's all
you
of
could-
them.
yeah.
No. This is the most unbelievable side effect I've ever heard. You might fall asleep and drive a car.
It causes you not just to get drowsy, but to want to get into a car and drive and be drowsy.
Literally, you would be driving while sleeping.
Oh.
And
Wow.
I thought that is the craziest, most dangerous.
I think that's a typo.
No, it was not a typo. I
Don't
swear.
take while you're driving a car. Or
I just
operate
love the
heavy
diet
machinery.
pills that says may cause weight gain. We're literally.
Yes,
Or-
that's the one I'm waiting for. Right.
Or-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
They can't keep that one on the shelf that has the weight loss thing. Women are buying it, or people. I shouldn't say women. People are
women
buying
are people. We know that. Anyway, here is the final question of our today, yesterday trivia quiz for this February 25th.
David and Ron and
I'm ready.
I and Vicky should get together and write a quiz that only David Lefkowitz has to answer.
Go ahead.
And I would get 2 points. I could like 8
Obscure as
questions.
possible.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have any. It's not like I'm standing here like Alex Trebek. Like I would know all these even without the cards. It's like fuck you. No, you wouldn't. You know half of them, maybe,
Well,
right?
Go
But
ahead.
no, I make no pretense. I would not get most of these, honestly. So, or there would be ones typical thing. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know this, and then but when you need to call it up, like boom. Maybe this will be like that for you, or maybe you guys will get our tiebreaker.
All right.
In the today yesterday quiz.
All right.
It's not a multiple choice. You have to know the name of the answer. The year was 1950. Born today in Sligo, Ireland, is this BAFTA and Oscar-winning novelist, screenwriter, and film director. Starting with 1982's Angel up through last year's Marlowe, this director's work often centers on unconventional, sexually tinged relationships, be they in Interview with a Vampire or his most acclaimed film, 1992's The Crying Game. Name that director.
Oh, gosh,
Oh.
shoot.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. I know who.
Oh.
See his face.
Oh.
Gosh.
I actually gave you a fair question, but it's one of those tip of the tongue ones. Yeah.
It is.
Because he hasn't had a big hit in a while. So his
Mhm.
name is not in the news as much.
And I think I'm thinking of the wrong one, and I know the name of the other one, and I
I
can't.
think okay, I
Uh,
have a guess.
I'll write down anyway.
Just finishing the tiebreaker, babe.
Excuse me.
Leslie ran away with it.
Yes, she was very lucky.
Oh, thank you, David.
It was
Oh,
slightly-
David, that's unkind. That's unkind. That's a cruelty.
No, Leslie, let's be
no,
honest.
No. What I
To
I
a
was
sick
very
woman,
when
you
I
would say a
win
thing like that. What?
when I have won, I've been very lucky.
Oh, I see what you mean. I
Oh,
thought you
I
were-
see.
although, Leslie, we really don't, ordinarily, we don't allow people to be on steroids or any kind of chemical.
Right.
Because we
Right.
generally
Yeah.
blood and
He's
urine.
flying. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we've got some snow flurries outside.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't it like 70 degrees in New York 2 days ago? We had that here.
Yeah, but it's 33. It's 33 degrees right
More
now.
than a few days ago. I forget when it was that warm, but
All of my son's in-laws are on the West Coast, and they're all going crazy. It's like there's hail and snow.
It's global. Well, for
Oh yeah,
us in America, it's global.
can you
warming.
spell global warming? I know.
yeah,
I know.
global climate change.
I mean, there you go. So are you guys ready with an answer?
Yes.
Preview?
Yes.
Yeah, but I can't.
I'm
Think
gonna read the question again and give a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then when you're ready, you're gonna hold up your answer to the camera. Just
Okay,
so.
like this ketchup.
But Leslie, you'll say it. Okay? Here we go. The question was, the year was 1950.
Wow.
Born today in Sligo, Ireland,
Oh, geez.
is this BAFTA and Oscar-winning novelist, screenwriter, and film director. Starting with 1952's Angel up through last year's Marlowe, this director's work often centers on unconventional, sexually tinged relationships,
Ooh.
be they in Interview with a Vampire or his most acclaimed film,
Well, they know that.
1992's The Crying Game. Name that director. 3, 2, 1.
I have Stephen Frears, but I know it's wrong.
Stephen Frears, and we have a Kenneth Branagh. These are actually fantastic answers. Han, do you want to give it a try? Do you want to, who directed The Crying Game and Interview with a
I
Vampire?
love that. One day soon we're gonna tell the moon. I don't know the direct. I don't know stuff.
Let's see. I'll give the. By the way, nobody got that right. Stephen Frears was and Branagh was actually a good.
Give a clue.
I'll give another clue.
David, when is the rabbi coming? Because I want to hop.
I
on.
know the name. I just can't pull it up. It's one of that's what this part of.
And
the
I see his
thing.
face and I can't get his
I'll give the
name.
initials,
Okay.
the first and last initials. N.J.
Neil something.
Neil
Right.
Jargon or Jargon
No.
Jarham.
Garden.
Best basketball player ever.
Jordan. Neil Jordan.
Neil
Neil
Jordan.
Jordan. That's it.
Oh.
Neil Jordan.
Neil
That's
Jordan.
it.
Stumped the panel on that one, but Dave, you can't say that was an
What
unfair
were-
question. That
what
was
were the
a
final
reasonable.
scores? What were the
Yeah, of
final-
course it was.
No, that was a good question. I just
Yeah,
couldn't pull
but
up that particular
He
name.
hasn't had a really prominent hit in a while.
A lot
I
of
just
people-
read that.
Yeah.
I just heard on the Mark Maron show that he's working with somebody, and there's a new film coming out, but I don't have any idea what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, since the pandemic, who even knows who's making movies anymore, except Spielberg
Well,
and,
who
and
goes to movie
Scorsese.
theaters? Let's be real. Who
Yeah.
goes to movie theaters anymore?
Yeah, except for Marvel stuff, they don't. There isn't.
A lot of a
Yeah.
lot of movie theaters in New York are closing.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah, but I had to
lot
go
of the
see
independent
Avatar.
ones.
Yeah.
There was
but
that
I-
wonderful independent place on 57th and 12th that I loved.
Or what
That's
about
gone.
the Lincoln Center?
Are they still there? The Lincoln Cinema? Lincoln Plaza?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
you
for-
Oh,
gotta see
Lincoln Plaza
Avatar
was
in
long
3D.
before the pandemic.
Yeah,
That's been closed for a
Several
long
years
time.
before the pandemic.
The
I would love to.
Cinepolis,
I would love to get a consortium together and reopen that one. I love that. one.
the the Sinopolis on 23rd Street.
On
is closed.
23rd Street is gone. Well, the
And the one at
independent one.
the one at Union Square. I
Now that's
believe
part of Regal. That's part of a bigger chain.
they're closing
They-
a chain. There are several. They're closing. I think that's closing this week.
Wow.
Well,
The
Well,
end
what
of
about,
February.
I know Film Forum is still around. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
What about the Gramercy Park? Remember Gramercy, what was the one downtown? Was it Gramercy
Well,
Park?
oh,
Bleak-
the Gramercy became a music venue years ago also.
Oh.
And Bleecker Street Cinema, is that still there on West 4th?
No, that's
Oh
been
no,
gone
that's been
forever.
gone a long time.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
gone.
I need my
Wow.
slippers from a trip.
Oh, anyway, well,
But
let's,
so
let's
Rocky Horror, yeah, that's been
Yeah.
closed a long time.
wow. Now this has gotten depressing. First, all these movie theaters closing, and of course, Sir Kensington not doing ketchup anymore. So sad. But I am not
The
sad.
world is- keeps spinning, right?
They do. You know, things come, they go. You know, things end after a certain period, and
People come, people go, carry chairs, people
people
carry
move chairs
You
from
know,
the Grand Hotel. Yes.
I love that.
Let me thank our wonderful panelists. First of all, let's thank Ronald Rand. Ron Rand, you were
Thank
supposed
you.
to be in like Turkey this week or last week, and that didn't happen.
Right.
You're going to be doing the Harold Clurman.
Oh my God, that's right. You were gonna go to Turkey, weren't you?
Yeah, but I'm talking to him about going in 2 years, so that's still on the table. But now I'm
how
talking
awful.
to
Oh my
Ghana,
God. Well,
so
thank God
maybe-
you weren't there.
Well,
No.
it would have been in Ankara or well, it would have been.
Yeah, it
pretty
would have been
far
up in Ankara. Yeah, but I'm talking to a country in Africa right now, so we'll see if it happens. Yeah.
And also, people can still get Ron's book. It's called Solo Transformation on Stage, available wherever books are. So, well, who's the publisher? Or how do you? Yeah.
Well, it's Sunbury Press, but it's also at the Drama Bookshop and on Amazon and all over the internet. And now it's been doing very well internationally, so which is very exciting, you know. So
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Well, and congratulations on that, Ron. Now, let's also talk to David Sheward. David Sheward, you're going back to the theater, and since you had the week off, I assume you went to the theater a bit.
Yes, finally caught up with Anne and Juliet, which I really enjoyed.
I saw
Very
that.
cute. It
Oh,
was
good,
fun.
David. Will you review it with Charlie?
Sure.
No, wait a minute. I saw that. No, I think it's Charlie. No, that was one of the last things I saw. But I don't think we reviewed it yet. I don't think Charlie has seen it yet. I have to check in with him.
Let me explain to the folks watching at home that Leslie co-hosts a show with Charlie Gross called Two on the Aisle. And Leslie hasn't been going to a lot of theater over the past few months, so they have a lot of guest critics, including David Sheward, who comes on and reviews shows or debates about a show with co-host Charlie Gross. So
Yes.
you saw Anne Juliet, you liked it. Did you go get anything
Yes.
else this week?
It was fun.
It was
and-
fun.
Yes, and it's interesting. I also saw another sort of update / adaptation of a classic from off Broadway, The Seagull / Woodstock, New York,
Oh, how was that?
with Parker Posey.
How was it?
It was. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Just this. Oh, they're updating Chekhov, and why would they do that? But it actually didn't feel like this artificial forced update. It felt sort of like they were taking the basic shape of the play and putting it in contemporary terms.
Wasn't there a movie years ago with the little guy who's with Deborah Eisenberg? What is his
You're
name?
thinking of
Yeah,
Wally
Vanya,
Shawn. I'm
Uncle
thinking Wally Shawn. What am I
You're
thinking
thinking
of?
of
I'm
Vanya
sorry.
on 42nd Street. That was Uncle
Right.
Vanya.
Yes, thank you.
But this
Oh,
will show you.
Lynn Cohen was in that. I
Lynn
remember.
Cohen and
Phoebe Brand was in it. Yeah,
Andre Gregory and
That's right.
Right.
It was really good. Julianne Moore was
yes, and they
Yeah.
filmed it in this theater on 42nd Street.
But to
Right.
show you how old I am, I remember seeing, like, I guess must have been 30 years ago now. There was a show called The Seagull, The Hamptons, New York, where they updated.
That's the one I was thinking of. That's the
Mhm.
one I was thinking
That
of.
was with
not
Laura Linney,
42nd
when nobody knew
Street.
who she was. Yeah, and
I
she-
don't know if that's the same author or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm just-
I think that was Cohen, the guy who used to run
Yeah, he was.
that's
the-
I've forgotten his first Jeff
Jeff
Cohen. I
Jeff
think
Cohen.
that was him.
Yeah.
Right. I liked his stuff. He was doing some good stuff. He had one called Uncle, what was it called? Uncle Steve or something?
Uncle Jack. Was
Uncle
that him?
Jack, thank you. But oh, good, you're good.
I have to
Was
tell
that
you, I
him?
saw a fascinating show at La Mama that I just caught called Han, which is directed by Thomas Richards. And this, I have to get her name right. It's Hun Yu Bak. She does this solo show, and it's a fascinating performance. Richard Schechner was there on opening night.
Wow.
So I got to say hello to Richard. He was actually my teacher at NYU millions of years ago.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, the same time
was
I was
one
studying with
Han or was Han
Grotowski
Wu?
as well. But Thomas went over and studied with Grotowski, and he became his protege. And so he has created this new theater company called Theater No Theater. And but the piece Han, HAN, is
Yeah.
actually about what they consider a national part of Korea, which represents something called beautiful sorrow, which is inherent in the people's sensitivity over many, many, many years. And it's an interesting take on what it is that sort of transcends through time, but is part of the fabric of a people and a culture. So it's an
Is it like
interesting.
Buteau or something?
No, it's she actually sings, and it's all in Korean with subtitles, but she actually is a storyteller telling the story of a family, and also what happens in Korea during the occupation, and so
Oh,
it's
the
fascinating.
Japanese occupation?
Yes, so
Wow.
I recommend it. It's a very, very powerful evening.
It's a
Yeah.
shame it doesn't have a score by Haim, because then you would have, and it's a well-honed show. So it'd be a well-honed Han with hum and Haim.
Oh God.
I don't know
Uh,
why I didn't think of that. Thank you.
I'm a text
David,
by
give
Heinrich
yourself a
Heine.
drum thing.
You know, that's
Because you have too much class, Ron.
It just comes out of left
Oh,
field.
and I also have a.
yes.
I also have I also have another review of the Carol Burnett show on the blog. The David
The
Desk.
David Desk is the name of the David Desk.
Two, right? Two?
No, the David Desk.
Okay.
Radio Dave 2 is my
Oh,
Twitter feed.
Oh no! Well, as a matter of fact, it is technically it is the David Desk too, because
Wrong.
the David Desk plane just by itself, it had my email. It had my old email when I was at backstage, and then that disappeared, and I wasn't able to get it started again because the old email didn't exist.
Mm.
So they just destroyed. They just
Wow.
email.
But you can find the David Desk as a thing, or if
Yes,
you
you
go to it,
have to look
yeah.
for the two, yeah.
Right.
So I had to add a 2 to it to make a new one.
We can read David's reviews of the shows he's seeing at the culturaldaily.com and
Theater Life.
theaterlife.com, excuse me.
Theater Life.
And his blog is the
It's
David
nice
Desk.
to have David. It's nice to have you back, David.
It really is.
Yes.
Oh
So-
God.
My goodness.
Thank you.
Leslie Hoban Blake, as I mentioned, 2 on the Aisle. Have you contributed? Is there anything new with you in it this week?
No, well, Charlie and I caught up on a couple of things, and he's putting them together, but we haven't posted anything yet.
Well, you can
We
find.
have we have our piano lesson, and
Did that close already, or is that still running? I think
yeah, it closed. I can't remember what the other one was. Raisin in the Sun.
Ah.
We have those two. We never. We did those, and he did something with Diane. I can't remember what it is. My mind will not let me go there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I feel just really jealous that you got to see Raisin in the Sun, but that could just be sour grapes on my part.
God,
Anyway,
to
Oh,
do that.
I want an emoji that does that.
well, Leslie, there's actually a website called somethingrimshot.com.
Okay.
And you literally, it goes to a page and it has a big red button, Instant Rim Shot. That's it, instantrimshot.com.
Uh-huh.
And you take your mouse and you hit the button and it literally goes, and it's pretty great.
Ah, okay.
You need this in your
Can
life.
you capture that, or you have to always go to the red button and to do it?
No, you have to go to the website, press the button, and it goes.
My son told me about that. I'll go back to my original statement. I want an emoji that gives me a rim shot.
How does that? Maybe there is one. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know, something that would visually be standing for a rim shot.
All right. I'm sure there are emojis for rim jobs, but there's a whole.
oh dear.
Ladies
I
and
need to
gentlemen,
leave now. I'm sorry. I'm going to leave you guys to yourselves. Okay?
Sure, thank you.
Send me away. It's okay.
Have a wonderful week. It's been great playing the game with Ron Rand, with David Sheward, with Leslie Hoban. Like, give kisses, throw things. Happy,
Bye-bye.
happy, happy. See you guys
Okay.
very, very soon.
See you
And
soon.
Bye.
it's great that you've been in
Thank
the
you.
neighborhood.
I'm waving. You can't see me, but
Thank
I'm
you for
waving.
this.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Enjoy.
I do have a review of The Wanderers and Cornelia Street on those two.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you, man.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks for being in. It just takes me so long to remove you guys. Sorry about this. Keep waving. Bye, Dave. All right, we are in the Daverhood live on this Saturday morning, February 25th, 2023, the 883rd episode of the show. And this was an episode I wasn't even sure I was going to do it. I didn't know if I want to write questions for the quiz.
Well,
And yet, it's been so much fun. Or what was the actress from Miranda's like, such fun, such fun, such
Yeah.
fun. And it has been, and it is. Let's take this down a little bit so I'm a little more eye to eye with it. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. That's my darling and adorable wife, Joyce. And we've been doing this show, or I've been doing this show with her for 20-something years. All the archives are at archive.org, davesgoneby.com. You can hear our audio archives at castbox.fm, castbox.fm, if you just care about the audio. Oh, we also have a YouTube page, and you know about our Facebook page, and my Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2, and my Instagram page, Dave's Gone By.
days gone by.
Lots of ways to get really the same content. So if you know people who don't know us, it's about time that they did. Well, I want to, amazingly enough, I thought we would do this before the guests came in, but I got so wrapped up in the ketchup and the dentist stuff that we didn't get to do Greeley Crimes and Old Times.
Are there any left?
Well, which is a big hole with water in it.
Yeah.
I had emailed the nice lady, Mackenzie Morgan, from the Greeley Tribune about a week or two ago, saying, hey, because Greeley Crimes and Old Times is a segment we've been doing for many years now, based on actual stories in the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Real newspaper, but they have two columns that are intentionally funny based on real things. One is cop log, phone calls that come into the local police dispatch from people who are seeing weird, messed up things happening in their neighborhoods. They call it in. And there's another column called 100 Years Ago, where Mike Peters goes through the newspapers, true newspapers published in 1923, and finds funny things that were in what was the Greeley Tribune at that time, 100 years ago. We mix them up, we put them together into Greeley Crimes and Old Times. But since November, there has not been a new cop log in the Greeley Tribune. Since November of last year, middle of the month. And by December, I was writing to them, I said, we do this on the show. Right, we need these. This
Yeah.
keeps me from having to write material and think of
What
stuff.
Is there any updates?
She gave me an update this week.
Whoa! What is it? That there's more stuff?
Well, she said in the email. Let me find it. And I appreciate. I mean, because she doesn't have to write back to someone like me, but she did.
Well, because they wanna.
I mean, they're probably proud that somebody on quote unquote the radio.
Anybody, no.
cares.
Let's be honest, David. Anybody who writes
Yeah.
is happy when somebody reads what they wrote. Let's be real. I mean, that's not a.
So this was on Tuesday. She wrote to us to say, "Hi, Dave. I just received an email about 5 minutes ago
Whoa.
that cop logs are back.
Really?
The department had to completely rearrange the format due to a
What?
software change."
What? David, and all they're doing
It's a news story.
No, but maybe they're releasing the information that, that
Uh.
takes away the details of, like, who it was and...
Yeah, but she said, "I will have the logs published again each Thursday. Thanks for your patience."
Whoa.
So I checked on Thursday. I wasn't back yet, but maybe by next week,
Yes.
courtesy of Mackenzie Morgan, staying on top of this, we will have
That's great.
just in time for March, for the springtime coming, for Passover coming, we will have cop logs again as part of Greeley Crimes and Old Times. The good news is I've been parceling them out parsimoniously,
Yeah.
very carefully, so that we have one cop log still every week alongside the 100 years ago and the elsewhere stuff. So we are still able to do a reasonable Greeley Crimes and Old Times. We have one or two more of these, though, and then we're going to need the Greeley Tribune to get back on the stick and do it right. But thank you, Mackenzie, and to all of you, it's time for Greeley Crimes and Old Times! Greeley Crimes and Old Times, ladies and gentlemen, yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was terrible. So are you ready, Hung? Are you ready for some extreme criminality?
Yeah, if I can. And there's only one drum doodle.
Oh, I have the other one.
Do you want me to put the on-air sign for your?
Oh, I can hold it if you need it. Hold on.
Oh, no, just do you. I think you should just do your show.
All right, here we go.
Let's not go crazy.
Here we go. That was a little more of the tea. Thank you for the.
Yeah, you're
For the
welcome.
tea,
I know.
please.
I need another one too. I feel groggy.
All right. Time for Greeley Crimes and Old Times, ladies and gentlemen. Here's let's start with an actual crime that was reported to the police. People called the police department in Weld County. Here we go. And this is already from November. And I don't know why I found this hilarious. I don't know why this strikes me as really funny. Usually there's just one word that kind of makes it for me. A caller on 10th Street said, it's funny. There's no reason this is funny. A caller on 10th Street said, a woman drove into an ice chest at a convenience store.
Wow.
Why? Just the idea of an ice
Why would you
chest.
say that she just drove into the convenience store past her then?
It's the ice chest that makes it.
That's maybe the woman's. Maybe she's a writer.
Yeah. Because again, it goes back to that bit that Neil Simon wrote in The Sunshine Boys, where certain words sound funnier because of their letters, or ketchup and kumquat are funny because it has that hard K sound. Something about driving into an ice chest as opposed to just into a store, I find quite wonderful.
Maybe she was hot.
Could have been. Or she could have been an artist and she was working on cubism.
Does she mean like the place where they put the Coke and the Pepsi, or what is she talking about?
I guess so, or maybe they have places in convenience stores where you can buy like 4-pound bags of ice. When you don't make it in your fridge, or you buy a bag of ice for a party. I don't know. Or it could have been a cooler. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just glad that happened. We have some old time stuff. These are things that were in the newspaper 100 years ago, back in 1923. Two orthographers met in a spelling contest at the high school, and it was well attended by the students. By the way, I keep thinking
right, birds.
ornithography is birds. This is orthographers. These are people who are into words and spelling.
Oh, that's your people.
Right, well, kinda, yeah. I was the spelling champion of my elementary school. Woo-hoo. The game stopped when both contestants became stumped on the word bloath. Bloath. I looked it up. I don't remember what it meant. B-L-O-W-T-H. In the contest, Campbell misspelled only one word, pomegranate. And Shaw misspelled prosody, Marline, or Marlene, and anoint. How do you misspell anoint?
A-N-N-O-I-N-T, right?
No, A-N-O-I-N-T. But still, pomegranate I can sort of get. Hey, I told you this story a bunch of times. When I went, my name is literally in the Daily News back in 1972 or something.
Wow.
When I was the spelling champion.
Were you the mass murderer killer?
Yeah.
Makes no sound.
Oh, no, but and the word that I got out on when I went to the All New York Spelling Bee, because I was there. I was like Charlie Brown in the Charlie Brown movie where he goes to the spelling bee and he messes up.
Yeah.
That was me. I was champ of the school. I get to the New York Spelling Bee. I get one or two words, and then they get me out on one of my favorite things amazingly enough.
What was it?
Vanilla.
Spell it.
You spell it.
I-N-I-L-L.
With V-A-N.
V-A-N-I-L-L-A.
There you go. You would have gotten it. I think I put 2 N's in there.
Vanilla, yeah, like vanilla.
Vanilla. Well, who knew? Who knew? I was 10, you know.
What can they expect?
I got lost.
I told you my students, the little nerdy ones,
Yeah. Yeah.
that all they wanted to do was do the spelling bee when I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
lunch monitor. And I was like, really, guys, let's go out and play. Let's get some fresh air. And then I told you their teacher smoked. So Mrs. O'Brien liked to smoke. So she's like, give me 5 more minutes with the, outside. And so I would do spelling bee. And they loved it. And every single lunch period, if the weather was nice, they'd be upset because they'd have to go outside.
And they'd rather be in
They'd
school.
rather be
I was
inside.
like that. I didn't want to be
Why
outside.
did I get this group? And I'm like, they did it for candy canes, like.
Oh, they would win something. That's nice.
No, but they didn't even want it. They just wanted to play.
Yeah.
I was like,
I loved it.
yeah.
Maybe I loved it because I was really good at it. There's also a thing of
Maybe
like,
that's why.
yeah.
But I don't know. I never understood it. I was like, come on, let's go out and play. Play some jump rope with the nuns,
and then it became a life lesson for me of sort of like, you can be really good at something, but there's always people who are going to be better, and there's people who really study for this. And they take hours and they memorize and they go through books.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just thought, okay, I'm a good speller and I know words and I read a lot. It didn't occur to me that you cram or that you work towards this goal. I'm not built that way. I'm not going to be an ice skater and spend 12 hours a day on the rink. I'm not, even much as I love spelling. I didn't necessarily, I want to read books. I don't want to read like over and over again, and not for a class and not for a grade. I would have, though. I would have, if I'd known, I would have studied.
Yeah.
And I would have gotten a fucking word like vanilla,
Well,
would have gotten that one.
But at least you got to that level. That was great.
Yeah, I got my name in the paper. Woohoo. Did not win, though. I was upset. I was like Charlie Brown.
Did you come in second or third, or you were out of the loop?
I wasn't the first out, but I wasn't the last out either, or the
I found like even math, they put me in the math competition when my friend couldn't do it.
yeah.
And I said to sister, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, you're smart. And I was like, I have no interest in solving any of those problems.
Oh, I had interest. I wanted to do
I
it.
didn't
But
want it. Yeah.
I was in math club. We went to math B's when I was in 11th or
Oh, I
12th
hated
grade.
that.
And I just didn't, I was decent at math. I was really good at algebra. Anything beyond that and word problems, forget it. And there I am trying to solve word in a certain, I have no idea what the fuck I was, why am I here?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't get me into an Ivy League school. It didn't help, and I didn't enjoy it. I don't know why I was in math club. I should have been on the debate team. I think I would have enjoyed that.
Drama club, drama.
Oh, in my last year, that's when I started.
Yeah.
That's when I appeared in the show.
Theater stuff, yeah.
I should have done that much earlier, and it just didn't. I was too shy.
Or maybe you didn't find that, like everybody finds the people who are like them. You didn't find that connection.
Well, unfortunately, I was heterosexual, so it didn't ever occur to me to love theater until towards 12th grade.
Most of the theater stuff we read was heterosexual, norm. It was very.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying it's sort of like that's where the Gleeks and the whatevers kind of go. If you're not with the crowd. But me, I was just a nerd.
For us in Catholic school, it was choir. That's where the people went that were.
Oh, really? All right. Well, I didn't sing. I was in the choir in elementary school. I sang before my balls dropped. This is true. I had a high voice, and before my balls dropped, I was singing and.
No, it was like that's the Brady Bunch episode when one of the boys like, it's a time to change, season's gonna change. Because they were singing a song and his voice was changing. They had to change the song to accommodate.
They got us in 6th or 7th grade. There was a guy named, I don't want to tell this whole story now, but a guy named Uzi Goldschmidt. Uzi Goldschmidt.
Is that like a pseudonym? What the heck is that, Uzi?
He was a performer in the Jewish community.
Oh.
A magician
Oh, jeeps.
who called himself
No.
the Wizard of Ooze.
I would call myself the Magic Ooze.
Yeah, no, he was the Wizard of Ooze.
Wow.
And he had the Children of Magic Choir. And he
He's
would
like
lead.
the coach on that show
Yeah.
we watch about puberty.
And by the way, there's not going to be like an ugly underside to this. He was not molesting anybody. He was
He
just.
was just strange, right?
No, he wasn't. He was a performer. He was a
Oh.
magician, and he also knew that part of what he could do. He could get into gigs and festivals.
Yeah, get more
And
stuff
he-
if people sing.
We were a pop choir. He would get like 5 kids from our school. give us a song to sing, kind of like the Backstreet Boys, but without, back then we didn't dance or anything, you just sang.
Dye your hair blonde and make you wear a mullet, no?
No, I had good hair back then. I was,
You did.
and we went and we actually appeared, I think it was at Town Hall, on a bill of, and it was one of these contesting, like
Well, you were
Hasidic festival
Uncle Sussy or Uncle.
No, it was real. Svika Pick was there. I mean, he was some major people were, and I think Svika won. And then we were all kind of, not just because I think we came in fourth or came in show or third place or something like
so
that.
you were hammy even as a little one.
Oh, completely. Well, I wasn't that little. This was 6th or 7th grade.
You were probably 7th grade. You were 12, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just before the,
Yeah.
or maybe it was 6th grade or something. But I just remember we were angry. We were
Why?
really angry. Not because we were mistreated or anything like that, but the rules of the contest were that it was like the
no
Hasidic pop
professional,
festival.
no
No
professional.
English. It was the songs had to be
Yeah,
Hebrew or Hebrew prayers, you know,
Could
or
they be Yiddish?
I'm sure Yiddish would have been okay. Had to be Hebrew.
So the
Hebrew
winner
prayers.
did English?
The second place guy did a song called Back to Jerusalem in English.
So they should have disqualified
It
him.
should not have been
No.
allowed. And he came in second, the
So
son of a bitch.
Was his name like Myers, and then the judge or the sponsor was Myers? I mean,
He was the son of a... No, but if he had done a Hebrew song, we would have been like, fine.
David, let me tell you. So I was second out of 450, right?
In your high
In
school.
my high school. And
Yeah.
my dad's transit, New York City Transit, had a scholarship. So I applied based on like GPA and stuff. And my dad's like, you're not going to win. Because it was political. Who could beat? The only person who could be, I was like 2 out of 450, right? You'd have to like,
Well, if one...
yeah, but
Yeah.
nobody,
Yeah.
so, and it was funny. And then they're like, oh, you know, and so some of those things are a little bit rigged.
There are a little bit. You know, and I'm not saying we were the... We had a nice song.
Did
The
you
audience
dance?
liked
Did you
us.
dance?
No, it wasn't like Backstreet.
Oh.
Kids
What
weren't
was
doing
your
that
song?
those
What
days.
was your song?
It was Va'ani tefilati lecha Hashem et ratzon.
What does it mean?
You all know it.
What does it mean?
Something about me to lecha. I don't know.
If it involved the Holocaust, you would have won.
And we needed a pop number. I don't think Yafa Yarkoni was there, but it was a very catchy song, and we did it well. We were drilled. We had worked on it for a month after school for like an hour or two, the same fucking song over and over again.
That's
But we did it.
That's your anger.
But again, if this were modern day, we would have lip synced and we would have been like, you know, really
Yeah,
cute and
dancing.
dancing around. No, it was you get up back in the day. You got up in front of a microphone and you sang as a choir in
Was
harmony.
it all male? It was all
Yeah.
male?
Yeah, it was 5 guys. It was me,
No,
Jason
all
Langwand.
the people who sung male, not just your group.
Oh no, I do not.
Maybe if you had a lady, you would have won. If you would have had a girl in there, you would have won.
Yeah, and like
Did Freaky the Magic Freakster do magic while you were singing?
Uzi, I think Uzi
Oh,
Goldschmidt
God.
did some magic that
That's why you lost. They're
night.
like, oh.
Let's see.
Uzi.
I know I looked him up years ago, trying to see if he's still like alive.
Yeah, still doing it.
I don't think he's doing choirs anymore because he probably got sick of UZI. I'll bet it's still him.
Oh, look it up.
The Wizard of Ooze.
I'm not typing that on my phone. I'm sorry. You know.
Or maybe it wasn't spelled like that.
God bless him.
Let's see if I do Uzi Goldschmidt magic. Because remember, we're talking about 1974 or 1975 here. There's an Uzi Goldschmidt on Instagram. Whether that's him, that could be him. Oh, the account is private though. I don't know if I want to follow. He looks like a turtle that you would suspect of some kind of crime. I don't know. Certainly doesn't look like he did 45 years ago, but who does? Oh well. I'll have to do some more digging. Because I know I found something about him back in the day. It was the Children of Magic Choir, and so it was a nice night, and it was exciting to be up on a stage in front of hundreds of people singing. We were terrified, but we did well. We were nervous, but we did well. We just didn't win, and we came behind someone who sang a song in English, which I'm sorry.
I know you and me. The reason we get along so well is we're stickler for the rules. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind if they won because they're a beautiful singer, but you have to follow. It's like we watched that show about that competition, the Nordic singing competition and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that was cute.
And
Yeah.
they always say like there's certain rules, and they're like they broke the rules because they had an extra person on stage, and like even ice skating, dancing, every single contest I've ever seen, people always go at it with the technical stuff, like her skirt was like this way, or she shouldn't have had that music, or they were on the stage too long. Like that's how
Yeah.
they disqualify, like the Olympics, everything. Yeah.
Well, the wonderful scene in The Big Lebowski
Oh, tell me.
is John Goodman plays this Orthodox Jewish character who doesn't roll on Shabbos, but if you are bowling and you put your toe over the line, he pulls out his gun.
Oh God, well that's not good either.
This is bowling, so.
Oh, please. People are serious about it. We have 2 bowling alleys in town. A lot of people like
Yeah,
it.
bowling. I love bowling.
Yes.
I miss bowling. I'm seeing a song called Back to Jerusalem here, but I don't think it's the same one because I have to go back
No.
way back then.
Back in your memory vault.
But I have to go like 1975's Hasidic Song Contest, but not the one in Israel. I don't know.
That's too much, honey.
There's probably some sort of thing that happened. It wasn't Eurovision, but it was sort of Eurovision
Was or
Jewish
wasn't? It
Light.
wasn't
Was
Eurovision.
not. It was not Eurovision.
No. Maybe it should have been. That's the thing.
But I know Speaker, who passed just last year.
Yeah.
I know Speaker Pick was there.
Oh, wow.
Anywho.
David, I survived the treadmill. Are you happy?
Well done, my dear.
Not treadmill.
It's not a trouble. It's an elliptical.
Elliptical. I did it for 7 minutes.
We're so, we had such, no, I won't say fun, but it was such an ordeal to put the elliptical together that when we got a lamp in the mail, we got a floor lamp.
Yeah.
Not in the mail. We got the
It's
box
beautiful.
from,
We got it
yeah.
from Lowe's, right?
and we saw that we had to put it together. And like, oh Jesus Christ! But in 10 minutes, it was
The
done.
Extension cords.
Oh, we're waiting for those in the mail. Those haven't come yet. But it was just like after putting together an elliptical. So I get this lamp, and we see it's like 8 pieces or something. And it's just like zip, zip, zip. Oh, this is nothing. Give us 10 lamps. This ain't fine.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, knock on wood, this elliptical's great. I did 7 minutes. I feel like I did 27. I think
Good
I
Lord.
need
Good Lord.
more an hour.
So we've gotten really elliptical in our storytelling here because we've been doing Greeley crimes in old times. How the heck? Oh, this all bounced off the fact that I was in a spelling bee. When I was something along the lines of same age, maybe 5th or 6th grade, back in elementary school. But so it goes. Let's do another old time here. This is from the newspaper in 1923 up in northern Colorado. The governor of Colorado.
Just be a satyr parader. Satyr parader.
Hey, don't make fun of Gladys Gewertz. Do not make fun of Gladys
I don't know her
Gewertz.
personally. I'm sure she's a lovely lady.
Well, not anymore.
Oh, she gone away with a friend, as we say, right?
As they say. The governor of Colorado fired Dr. John Crabb
Oh boy.
as
Why?
president of the State Teachers College in
Why?
Greeley. We know
Why?
that place.
Yeah.
After the firing, police investigated a woman who refused to give her name,
Uh-oh.
but said she was the new college president.
There you go.
Deputies interviewed the woman on a farm west of Greeley and decided she was harmless. She was also caught in a snowstorm and covered with snow, but was not injured.
Wow.
None of this makes any sense at all. It's like, so the head of the State Teachers College was fired.
Yeah.
There's a woman who says that she is now the president of the State Teachers College, except she's not.
No.
And then the same woman is in this, like, buried in snow, but
Makes
not
sense
harmed.
to me.
Yeah. Oh, it does? It does?
She was just like somebody who was like saying it, but she had no like grasp of reality.
I was just saying, if
You know,
you're...
like-
yeah.
Some people remember
Yeah.
we watched like Agatha Christie, and the one guy is like an inmate, and he says his father's like somebody
Oh, yeah.
famous. You know, people do that. And she was like, she was just making it up. You know.
I'm just saying at this point, if you're from northern Colorado and State Teachers College or UNC, you kind of want to stay as far away from big drifts of snow as possible. Anyway, that's kind of a sad in-joke there. But we have, oh, hun, this is very important. We need noise. I require much noisiness. Oh, and I also have to get this up on on my iTunes to do this properly. Oh boy. Because ladies and gentlemen, you know, most of the time we just read the news item from Greeley Crimes and Old Times and no big deal. But sometimes we have an alert. Sometimes it involves something where we want to let you know, like an 8th at 8th alert, which we haven't had in a while, where things happen on 8th Street and 8th Avenue, the corner of that, which is the Bermuda Triangle of Colorado. And sometimes we have an alert for Austin Pendleton. We may be mentioning that later in the show, because when we talk about our friends of the Daverhood, director and actor Austin Pendleton is so ubiquitous that he turns up every single time we're talking about friends of the Daverhood. So we have an Austin Pendleton alert. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a town in Colorado, town not very far from where Joyce and I were living. And the name of this town is Fort Lupton. And I love the sound of the word Lupton. Say it with me, won't you?
Lupton.
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 Let it roll off your throat. Lupton. Lupton, hon. We have a Fort Lupton alert. Lupton! Lupton. Alert. Yes, we have. That was really well done there. Thank you. A Fort Lupton alert. All it means is that we have a story about Fort Lupton. But, hon,
Yeah.
this is not only a Fort Lupton alert.
What?
This is, at the very same time,
Yeah.
a hobo alert. One story, 2 alerts. It doesn't get better than this, ladies and gentlemen. In Fort Lupton, an unoccupied house caught fire and burned to the ground.
Wow.
It is thought that the fire was started by a hobo who broke into the house, then set the auto tire on fire to keep warm.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you gotta do that.
But, okay, yes,
I don't
but,
understand. Why did he send the auto tire if he's in the house?
yeah, why would you burn a rubber tire? I guess it would burn all
I
night.
guess anything that gets warm. Yeah, I don't know.
But why would there be an auto tire inside the house?
Mhm.
And why would it not be on the automobile itself?
I don't get it.
I don't get it, but that was a hobo and Lupton alert. Say it with me. Hobo, Lupton.
Lupton.
Hobo, Lupton.
Lupton.
Ha, bulbous bouffant. Okay, let's do an elsewhere. This is not from northern Colorado, but it is a story of strangeness and weirdness that we get from other places. So we do some odd news from, and it's been very helpful since we haven't had new cop logs to get some of these elsewhere things. This story comes all the way, you couldn't really get much farther away than this, from Australia, and it's
Wow.
an item from Reddit. The latest star, okay, now hon, could you do me a favor? Can you find this on your phone?
Yeah.
The latest star on the social media firmament is a starfish. Not only that, it's one that has 5 arms,
Okay.
and the heads on those arms look exactly like the tips of human penises. It's known as the doughboy starfish.
Okay. Picture of the doughboy starfish.
Here are some pictures that match.
He looks cute. He doesn't look naughty.
See the ends of his arms.
See the ends of his arms.
This is going to be worth seeing, ladies and gentlemen.
Images.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Upside down is where the naughty happens.
Well,
here.
yeah. The doughboy starfish, because of its bulbous,
Honey,
convex arms,
Okay.
is called the Coriaster granulatus, living in tropical waters from East Africa to New Guinea. Here's the New York Post. It's trying to play a video of it, but you don't really need the video. There we go. It's fine. That is.
Want me to get the video?
It's trying to. It's. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Porn star penis starfish. It's just got to play a commercial first, of course. But it is the Coriaster granulatus from East Africa and New Guinea. Social media greeted the knowledge of this creature. Yeah, there it is. With a lot of jokes, as you can well imagine. I wish I could show. Well, that's the underside of it. It doesn't quite look so terrible there. Wait, let's go back to the actual photos of him. Here's a lovely picture of the. Come on. Oh, there you. That tells you everything you need to know
Let me see.
about the.
Oh.
About the doughboy starfish.
But when it's upside down, it looks normal.
Yes, but when it's
Is it
right-
real?
Yes, of course it's real. That's the funny part about it.
But look at it. Okay, so I wanted to show you.
It has a
When
penis.
it's upside down, it looks. When it's right side up, it
Yeah.
looks normal. That's
Yeah.
normal. Cute little starfish.
Right, but when you turn it over,
It's not good.
so here are some of the
I don't understand that. What's his name?
the
Coriaster granulated sea star.
yeah, there it is. That's him, and it's obviously a him. I don't know. I don't know in terms of reproduction what it plugs into.
Why does it look that way?
People on social media responded to the news about this creature saying, "Oh, look, a coctopus."
Oh. Wait. Okay.
Another wrote, quote, "I found one of these under my mom's bed one day." Wrote in there. Someone wrote, "5 guys just found its new mascot." And the cleverest line
Yeah.
came from comedian Mark Normand, who wrote, "Ladies, if you aren't satisfied at home, there's plenty of fish in the sea." Ladies and gentlemen, the doughboy starfish. Rock the rock coctopus. Rock the rock coctopus, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get back to really crimes, old times. Let's do one more old-timey thing. And hopefully by next week we'll have some more criminality for you. Where am I? Okay. At a lawyers' club meeting in a local restaurant, the lawyers agreed that they should discuss issues amongst themselves. Said one attorney, quote, "The herd instinct is a sign of weakness, not strength. It is very noticeable among physical laborers and other trades of small intelligence." Unquote.
Because let me tell you something. Nothing makes you feel better
Yeah.
than people calling you, that you have small intelligence.
And this is why people love lawyers.
Yes.
And there's a group of lawyers that's like,
Remember that they had that thing? Well, that was at the damn Yankees. They said the floor of the Senate was hell or something like that.
Well, yeah. But this is just,
I loved my lawyer. My lawyer was like,
yeah.
can I tell you, like, he was fair in his pricing. He was kind.
Yep.
If there was an issue, he would tell me, like, this is more, think of it this way. Also, he was teaching. So he began teaching online so I could help him.
Oh, nice.
So he asked for advice about, like, online. Like I would love him as a teacher or a papa or, like, a uncle. He was wonderful. So, we can't overgeneralize. Some lawyers are
No,
awesome.
absolutely not. And I always
One of my
give a
good
sh-
friend's
yeah.
son is a lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know who, but Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I didn't know she had a kid. Yeah, I didn't know she had a kid.
you know Julia.
Oh,
our
all right. We
brother,
can talk about this
yes.
after the show if you don't want me to say it on the air. I forgot she had a
Yes.
son boy
He
kid.
went to school in Nebraska.
Oh, wow. And he's a lawyer now.
Yeah.
And certainly we always give a shout out to Country Vic, to Vic
He
Fusco,
was
who helped me out of a
You know
jam.
how
So,
we paid
yeah.
him? We paid him with a bolero tie.
Well, that's how you pay him. I pay him with.
No, I went to, it was a place in New York, and it was weird to find country stuff. And I found this one store that had all this stuff, and I asked them to help me find something. And it was either a thing I don't know if it was a hat band, I think it was like a thing you wore instead of a tie. It
A
was
bolo,
like
yeah.
leather with like a silver thing, and they helped me pick it out.
Yeah.
I remember shopping.
Instead of paying him
there.
thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
dollars, we gave him a tie, and he was very nice about it.
He was a
'Cause he's a
doll.
labor
He was
lawyer.
a doll.
Yeah.
What a doll.
I've been trying to get him for years on the show, and it just
Is
it's never
he
worked out.
retired now? Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
some I would say, but he's all right. He's okay. He's doing
Maybe
fine.
he hears the content about that starfish.
Yeah, he might not want to get anywhere near this program. This program being Dave's Gone By, where we have just concluded our Greeley Crimes and Old Times segment for this Saturday morning.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you, Groucho Marx, for taking us out of our Greeley Crimes and Old Times segment live on this February 25th, 2023. You're watching the 883rd episode of Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, Joyce, and our wonderful panelists on the Today Yesterday
The
quiz.
sounded like a lot of fun.
We do want to do a Friends of the Daverhood segment in a little bit, and we
Why don't
do.
you just call it that one Austin Pendleton day?
Oh, Austin Pendleton Day. Wouldn't that be the most wonderful thing? But before we get to our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, we always put that off as long as we possibly can to forestall the torture. But we do have the return this week of a segment that we did for a year or two or three even, where we were doing one of these every week, and then I just got tired and burned out from them. But every once in a while, it rears its beautiful, ugly head. It's called The Wretched Pun of Destiny, and it's basically a very short story, almost like flash fiction, where the point of the story is summed up at the very end in a terrible play on words. It's not dirty or anything, it's just you sit there, you wait for the ending of this thing, and then your whole life force drains out of you when you hear, no matter what you think.
No matter what you think, no matter what you say.
The Wretched Pun of Destiny. So that's the thing. It's we've done almost 100 of these. I'm up to my 94th, and this one is about baseball. It's perfect timing. We're almost in baseball season. Spring training is happening. I think we're probably a week or two away from the beginnings of preseason games. So why not a wretched pun about baseball? So we're very excited to bring it back. Let's see if this will play here. I haven't heard this in so long. The Dave's Gone By, Wretched Pun of Destiny. Ahem, ahem, ahem. ESPN is putting together a new in-depth talk show about baseball. So they want to hire a former player to host. They go through a roster of candidates and whittle down to the final three: a catcher, a left fielder, and a pitcher. The network tells each of them to make an audition tape showing their interviewing skills. After a week, the executives screen the tapes. The catcher comes on and he's really good looking and has a nice rapport with his interviewees. But he asks only one or two questions before launching into his own nostalgic memories of the game. Then comes the left fielder's tape. He's funny and knowledgeable, but his Q&As with other athletes are short and don't really go anywhere. Finally, the suits put on the pitcher's tape. He has a smart, often gripping interviews, but he's also plain-looking and awkward in front of the camera. The ESPN executives weigh the good and bad of each candidate and argue themselves into circles trying to pick the winner. Finally, they go to the president of the network, tell her about the tapes, and ask her to make the choice. This is a talk show, she says. Yeah. And it runs a full hour? Yes, say the executives. So the most important thing is who does the best and lengthiest interviews? Right, answer the executives. So who would do best? A catcher, a left fielder, or a pitcher? Take a picture, says the president. It'll last longer.
We here at Dave's Gone By apologize for bringing you the wretched pun of destiny.
Yeah. I did give you a warning. I did say that the wretched pun of destiny would be back this week, and now you've endured it. And your reward, well, it's more punishment. We've got the Colorado Limerick of the Dam coming up, but not before we thank some folks who helped make this episode of the show, 883, so much fun. Those include, of course, Potato. Thank you. And we thank my wonderful and adorable wife, Joyce. And we thank Ronald Rand, the author.
You showed the picture he gave?
Oh, the picture, the take a rock, it'll last longer. There it is. He drew this, he painted this of me as a potato.
Did he explain it more?
There's not really that much to explain.
Oh,
It's me as
okay.
Mr. Potato
I
Head.
understand. I get it.
What can you explain about this?
You're cute.
There's nothing to explain about this.
You've got your head shape down.
I know.
You're cute.
Not, yeah, I sort of, well, no. Anywho,
Anytime nobody ever has painted a picture. Well, my student did.
Yes,
I have
that's
a
right.
picture of that somewhere. She did the painting of she sketched me in class, which was sweet.
But I do love this whole fan art thing. Remember Stan Reisler used to put my head on various...
Oh, I haven't, this is my fault because my computer's wonky. It's in the other room. I can't bring it in here.
Yeah.
But I used to go on Facebook a lot when you were doing it, and he could be posting and I don't even know. So
I haven't seen. And I love it when you guys post on Facebook and say hi and
Stan
stuff.
has put you in a whole bunch of concoctions.
He did Michelangelo's David.
Yes.
I
he
begged
did,
him.
like an Orthodox rabbi.
Right.
Didn't he
yes.
do like as
Santa Claus?
a vampire, I thought, or something for Halloween? Didn't he do some?
No, I don't think he did
No,
that. But he also did, and this was at my request, he put me on the cover of Olaf Sween's Accordion Hits,
Oh yes.
which was a beautiful thing.
Who hasn't been on that?
Who doesn't love a little
Who
Olaf
hasn't
Sween?
been on that cover? Let's be real.
But we thank you so much to Ron Rand. Get his book, Solo Transformation on Stage, and you might want to subscribe to his journal. It's called Soul of the American Actor. Also, we thank David Sheward. We can read him at culturaldaily.com, theaterlife.com, and his blog, The David Desk, and Leslie Hoban Blake, where you can see episodes of Two on the Aisle on their YouTube channel. But we also like to give a shout out to folks who've been on this program, not this day, not this episode, but in prior episodes, because they're friends of the Daverhood. They're like family. We want to know what they're up to. And I tell you that on Friends of the Daverhood. So basically, Friends of the Daverhood this week, we have a few of them. This is kind of neat. Want to let you know that if you, people still watch, amazingly enough, network television. There's a show on CBS called East New York, and Ruben Santiago Hudson is one of the cast members. So yay for that. If you happen to be this week and next in Hartford, Connecticut, you can see the Broadway musical from a couple of years ago called Tootsie, which features a score by David Yazbek, our friend. It's at the Bushnell Theater in Hartford. I know it's playing this weekend and probably for another week or two. Also today, at Town Hall.
Wow.
Judy Collins is going to be at Town Hall in Manhattan with the Harlem Chamber Players.
Wow.
Kind of neat. So if you've ever seen Judy Collins, she's still out there. She's 80, maybe 82 years old. She was on the show. Actually, I think she's been on the show. Oh no, she was on the show once. I interviewed her for something, but whatever.
I believe this is the interview. Was that
there she is.
You're the one with the green.
No, absolutely not. No, Judy Collins. Why say that about Judy Collins? She was
gorgeous.
lovely.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she's Judy Blue Eyes. She had the big, the big eyes.
Is that what they're calling it?
What are you saying? Robert Cuccioli is appearing.
Robert Cuccioli? What?
Cuccioli. Robert Cuccioli is in Fedra that the Red Bull Theater Company is doing, and they're also streaming it. So you can see it now through tomorrow. Fedra, Phedre, with our friend Robert Cuccioli. Now through the middle of March, Steve Kaplan is doing a weekly course in comedy writing. It's a comedy writing intensive. He does it a couple of times a year. Find out at kaplancomedy.com. Steve Kaplan, of course, was one of the founders of Manhattan Punchline, an off-Broadway theater back in the day. Peter Felicia is going to be on stage. See, you want to talk about being angry and jealous? Peter Felicia is doing a solo show called Pete's Theatrical Adventures.
Wow.
At Theater 555. It's all about his years being a theater critic.
He told me how he marketed for all those years. Like, he went out and, like, he was on your show and he talked about, like, standing in front of theaters and, like, people would throw away the paper that he would give out the
No, that's different. That's not him.
that?
That's someone else. That's, I think that's Scott and Barbara Siegel when they were doing their...
Somebody would give out, like, no, it was some guy who did a one-man thing. Oh, he did who's the person who does the reviews? Like, 1945 theater review or something?
That was not Scott and Barbara Siegel. That is Scott Siegel.
That was the guy,
yeah.
No,
Peter is one of the reigning experts on musical theater.
Whoa.
He is he's up there with Ken Mandelbaum, and who knows what happened to Ken Mandelbaum. But he is one of the absolute, like, go-to trivia, knowledgeable, readable critics on musical theater. But he's seen thousands and thousands of shows, and now he's doing a one-man show all about, his life as a theater critic.
Oh, wow.
Gee, I wonder who else did that about 5 years ago. Anyway, not jealous. Congratulations, Peter.
Don't be a hater, be a creator.
This is like a preliminary whatever, so if it goes well, they're going to bring it off Broadway. And it's going to be at Theater 555 tomorrow. On Monday, Amanda Green is going to be at Birdland, so get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. On Tuesday, Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks are playing at Birdland, and they have a regular gig there. Mike Agronoff, also on Tuesday, he is doing a streaming folk concert for folkproject.org. Mike Agronoff on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Charles Bush is going to be a guest with Alexander Rodriguez at Green Room 42 in Midtown Manhattan. Then Thursday and Friday, you can catch Amanda McBroom. She's going to be at 54 Below. Get your tickets at 54below.com. Now, playing on Tuesdays at Don't Tell Mama, it's Seth's Talent Showcase featuring pianist and songwriter Seth Bissenhirsch. You're going to want to catch him at Don't Tell Mama every Tuesday night. And he also does sometimes one other night of the week. You have to look at the calendar for DTM. Alan Menken and David Zippel's new musical, Hercules, is trying out at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, New Jersey, now through mid-March. You can catch Katsura Sunshine's solo show of Japanese storytelling, Rakugo, at New World Stages. They do it one Saturday per month. I'm not sure which, so you have to go look that up. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano, they also do a Saturday show. It's at Birdland. I think it's at 5:30 in the evening, so you can see them tonight. Tickets at birdlandjazz.com. And then on Broadway, Funny Girl with Tova Feldshuh, Hadestown with Lilius White, and Aladdin, which features music by our friend Alan Menken. And Alan Menken also wrote the music, of course, for Little Shop of Horrors, which is being revived at Off-Broadway's West Side Theater. One more time with Birdland, Jim Caruso's Cast Party, every Monday night at Birdland, and then StageBuddy.com, a terrific website of information about New York nightlife that was founded by our friend Evan Seplow, and then Dr. Demento, doing brand new and old episodes at drdemento.com. And finally, a shout out to our friend, even though she wasn't on the show today, Vicky Quaddy. She does shows out in Chicago. She's the co-creator of Late Night Catechism. She also does Bible Bingo and Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun? And she's got Easter Bunny Bingo waiting in the wings in a week or two. It's all at the Greenhouse Theater in Chicago. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. And so, my friends, even though we didn't have like a particular special guest today, although certainly David, Leslie, and Ronald are special enough, we've filled somehow 3 hours of your Saturday morning here in the Daverhood with Daveness, with Dave's Gone By. We've done a wretched pun of destiny. We've had our today, yesterday quiz. We've gone through Greeley crimes and old times. I've talked about singing in a dental chair in agony. And I've talked about the agony of losing Sir Kensington KETCHUP. So much. The highs and lows, ladies and gentlemen, the ups and downs, the peaks and valleys. Well, we go now from the valley into the ditch, because before we can end the show, we have to do our Colorado Limerick of the damned. Yes, we have one. It's a poem, a short one, thank God, about a different place in Colorado every week. So sometimes we do places like Vail or Pueblo. Pueblo's a tough one. Did I do one for Pueblo? I don't know if I got
You
it.
probably did, because it's an easy rhyme.
How is Pueblo easy?
I don't know. It has ends in O.
No, Greeley you can do. You know, Greeley, really.
Oh no.
Steely.
Pueblo.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you've got Green Mountain Hills. You know, Hills is easy. But I didn't realize up until this point, we never did Windsor. And Windsor, Colorado is a place that Joyce and I actually know. We lived in Greeley, and we were just a couple of miles from Windsor, Colorado, to the north. So, not as easy as it sounds to rhyme stuff with Windsor, as I have found out. But after puzzling and taking about 15, 20 hours over the week to really work this one out, I was able to come up with a Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Windsor, Colorado. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Windsor and then share with you the poem. Be very afraid of the Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Rocky Mountain,
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we go to Colorado, and in this particular case, to far northern and central Colorado, Windsor, Colorado. It's between Greeley and Fort Collins. It was settled first by a guy named J.L. Hilton. He built a house there that was specifically a way station for travelers heading to Fort Collins or back from it. You know, they could refresh. I don't think it was a hotel, but just a place they could get provisions and rest up and use the bathroom, that sort of thing. Eventually the area, which, by the way, and I haven't heard this term since, I don't know, junior high school, it's built on an alluvial plain. What a wonderful, I love that word, alluvial plain, which meant a lot of great things can grow there. So they had wheat growing, and they put up a big mill and millinery things. So it became known, that area did. The town was eventually named for Reverend Samuel Windsor. In the 1880s, then the railroads came through, and it became the place for sugar. And sugar, beet sugar. That became manufacturing there up until only really not that many years ago. That was their big crop. And then, because so much sugar was made there, the need for labor brought in lots of German immigrants from Russia who settled in Windsor, Colorado as well. When sugar production waned, just in time, that Kodak came in. And so Kodak took up the slack and became the big plant there. Now, of course, Kodak has waned in the years since digital photography, but as Eastman Kodak kind of went down, other things came up, like Vestas. We actually knew someone who worked at Vestas. They have a glass factory there. It's a bit of a manufacturing hub in Windsor, Colorado. And I didn't even know this. The year before we moved, a huge tornado tore through Windsor and parts of Greeley.
We knew that.
I don't remember that. It basically picked up all these motorhomes and RVs, caused what was it, $200 million worth of damage, and about 10 years worth of reconstruction stuff. Only killed one person. It injured about a dozen folks. But this tornado killed one person, but it really swept through Windsor and did a lot. Meanwhile, Windsor goes on. In summertime, Windsor has a harvest festival and a concert series in Boardwalk Park. They have a lot of parks in Windsor. It's quite lovely. They even have a community theater, and since just last year, they have a professional soccer team.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they built this big old stadium, and now they have soccer there.
They use it, of course. Yeah.
So Windsor really coming up in the world up until this moment when I have a poem to read about it, because it's our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Windsor, Colorado. No dirty language in it. It's just evil and sick. Ahem, ahem. Beware of that wacko from Windsor. When he kills a woman, he skins her, then hides the poor hag in a lawn and leaf bag and heads to the shed where he bins her. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. I read everything that comes in. I don't necessarily have the time to respond to everything, but please, I love getting messages. I love getting your smiles and thumbs up and your posts on our Facebook page. And the very fact that you can listen to the show without being a Facebook friend, but certainly if you friend me, you can send me messages.
The word of the day to ingratiating.
Oh, that's interesting. Ingratiating. I'm grateful for that. And so, davesgoneby.com is where our archives are. You can also see our archives at archive.org, castbox.fm for the audio.
Ugh.
I'm sorry, what?
Sever.
Ooh. Wait, how many words of a day do they have?
They're bringing up all the old ones now.
Well, they're bringing up several. What else? So we also have a YouTube page, Dave's Gone By, an Instagram. My Twitter feed is Radio Dave 2. And plus, I do want to let you know there's another website. There's davelefkowitz.org. davelefkowitz.org. This is where you can read my stuff. I was working on this a lot up until I started teaching again. But I was popping all these old stories and my plays and my lyrics and my interviews with things. It was just this compository, that's not a word, repository of all my writings from like the past 35, 40 years. And I'm, probably over the summer, I'm going to be able to put a lot more on again. But check it out, because I not only want you to watch this show, but I would love for you to, see what I've written. And my God, if you own a theater somewhere and you want to do one of my plays, please. I've got a bunch of one-act plays. Most of them are very funny. I've got a couple of full-length plays. I've got a couple of monologues. Hello. I'm not expecting to be rich. I'm not expecting to be famous at this point. Just, so pay attention to me because I'm smart and funny, please, I think.
You got a lot of funny in you, honey.
I got a lot of funny in me, honey.
You got the funny in you.
I does. Well, it is a couple of minutes after noon Eastern time here in the Daverhood as we conclude the 883rd episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. Not much to say. I want to wish my 2 days later, but Thursday would have been my father's 86th birthday. He did not make it to that. He passed away on Cinco de Mayo of 2021. But love him and miss him, so happy would have been birthday. Shout out to my mom, shout out to my in-laws, who are, Larry and Rosemary, we'll call them.
My mother can't get cold cuts. We can't get cold cuts.
Wait a minute, this requires explanation. What?
Every time we order an Instacart, they can't find meat as cold cuts. Maybe there's a cold cut crisis? You have to look into this.
I know.
Yes.
I think that's a lot of baloney.
Don't be so cheesy.
Hey, I'm just a ham. I would tell more dirty jokes, but I don't want a brisket. Hey, I've got a beef with you.
Oh, okay, honey, let's wrap it up.
All right, okay, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, you have, as I said, Dave's come by. I'm Dave. That's Joyce. Blah, 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 blah. I'm expecting, I'm hoping to do. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention in our thing that also on, I think Monday, there's a reading of a new play by Jeffrey Sweet happening in New York. So you might want to check that out as well. But yeah, I'm figuring on doing a new episode of Dave's Gone By, our 884th, next Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on Facebook, with our archives going in davesgoneby.org or .com. Check it out. Check the Facebook page. Check davesgoneby.com for information. I might be a little sporadic as I was last semester if work starts just being a little overwhelming and just doesn't allow me time to create the show. But so far, autumn has been pretty the spring semester has been pretty reasonable. So I'm hoping to see ya next Saturday right here in the Daverhood. Have a great one. Let's hope for more, incredible fine weather. And anything you want to add, babe? Anything new? Anything to say?
No, I'm happy that you got to do your show and
Wait, let's
okay.
can you grab this real quick? Because turn it on and then we'll turn it off.
Okay, sure.
Because that'll be like the real thing. Watch this. This is a special effect, ladies and gentlemen. This is the whole budget for the show for a month. There we go. Look. We're on the air, but
On the TV.
not for long. Oh, here, I'll block you. Yeah. And farewell, Sir Kensington.